Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Paper Dungeon. We are so very excited to have you guys here. The rest of the cast is being stupid. I'm sorry. Awesome. We just have, I think, only one or two things that we want to say before we get started. First and foremost, if you'll notice, we have some pretty rad shirts that Hannah's going to talk about.
Yes, so we are all decked out in our new shirts today. The concept design, DJ, if you want to hold that up for us. The concept design was by Grant, who plays Edward. We were established in 2020, thus the design. The final design that is on the shirt is by Lydia, who plays Renaya. And the assembly and distribution was by yours truly. I play Melora. We are going to be doing a giveaway during our stream next Monday, October 5th, I think is the date. And so if that sounds like something that would be interesting to you, make sure you head over there and you're there for that. Let us know in the chat if this were to become available to purchase, if you would want to purchase. Let us know.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
100%. Yeah, that's super rad. We're super happy to have merch. They're very comfy and they're like really well made. So good job to Hannah. Also, last week I joined everyone in morning TikTok, but now it's sticking around, so we don't have to be sad, which is super awesome. Yeah, did we have anything else that we want to say? I feel like I'm drawing a blank on something.
Grant here. I play Edward. We do. Grant here. I play Edward. I'd like to welcome Haval back on. Thank you for.
Oh yes,
guys, I'm back.
I know what I was going to say. Yes,
I don't have to work today.
I know what I was going to say. We are going to be integrating D&D Beyond into our stream, and so be checking that out. If you guys look over, I believe on the right side of the screen. I don't know if this is right for you, but it's right for me. But if you guys look at that, there should be like a little sidebar that will have like live updates to our stats. You can click on the character to get exactly that, access to our stats. Sorry, there should be a live status of their HP and all that good stuff. So check that out. Hope that you guys enjoy that. Constantly trying to make things better over here for you guys. So cool. I don't think there's anything else that we want to talk about. Oh, Aaron does.
Yes, it isn't super like something that we can talk about, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. October, middle of the month, we will be having a new kind of mini campaign that will be happening October through November, if that's how months work.
Yes.
Not gonna announce what it is yet, but I'm gonna be DMing it, and I'm super pumped. I'm real jazzed. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and I think the entire rest of the cast is gonna be able to be a part of it. So check us out if you want more of our content. That will be streaming on Wednesday nights. I think it's all gonna be pre-recorded and then released. So just be aware of that.
We will have at least me, if not some other people, in the chat most of those nights.
Yeah,
so
100%. Sweet. Yeah, if that's everything, as long as I'm not being stupid and forgetting something again. Cool. Let's go ahead and get started with episode 4. I can't believe it's already been 4 episodes. Episode 4 of the Paper Dungeon.
Welcome to Nicomuras, a world full of sprawling cities and dark secrets. In the wake of the trial, a divine act of righteous judgment, the world has been launched into an era of rebirth. But there are those who still lust for darkness and ruin. Follow us across the continent of Talira, from the deserts of Elon Ryan to the fields of Rivaluna. Deep in the Bloomrose Ocean and high above the Alisar Mountains, our story will see our adventurers through glory, fear, and fortune as they make their way through the Paper Dungeon.
So, last we left off, we are following the story of these 6 unlikely friends, quote unquote, as they're kind of trying to mend certain atrocities that have happened to Renaya. They started out as Renaya working in an orphanage, and she made this connection with this young boy named Samuel, who was then kidnapped. And in trying to find him, she ended up meeting up with our orcish friend Tarak and our very, very fine friend Edward, and made this unlikely bond between the 3 of them. And they continued to pursue finding Samuel before eventually tracking down what they thought would be some of the perpetrators of this, and accidentally running into the rest of the party, Melora, Kathyr, and Haval, at which point, upon announcing that they were looking for a small boy, everybody agreed to join together to try and find this kid. And then they began searching. They went back to the shop that they believed that is responsible for taking this boy, and kind of started looking through things. They ended up in an alternate plane, and did some things in there, at which point there was a very smoky encounter. At which point they returned, realizing that it was a few days later, and so they decided to spend the night, at which point they went to the 12 cranes. I think it was the 12 platinum cranes is where you guys spent the night after that, and enjoyed yourselves, at which point Renaya was visited by the mysterious deity known as Malice, and was taken to a different plane, at which point the rest of the party then had to go find her, and then had another shadowy encounter, this time with dogs, before they eventually recovered Renaya, and now have begun making their way towards what is known as the Sunrise Suite, which is a reoccurring name throughout some of the clues that they have found, and seems to be a prominent source of information for them. So 4 of them went off to the Sunrise Suites, and where we're going to pick up is with Kathyr and Melora, as they did not go to the Sunrise Suite, but they are going to what is known as the House of the Final Call, which is the Temple of the Death Domain Gods in here in Athala.
I'm not ready. I was mentally preparing for this to be after what everyone else did.
Perfect. So, on this fine afternoon, as the breeze is slowly going through, it is overcast as it was. There's still that gentle breeze. You guys begin making your way south around the ring of the 3rd ring of Athala, and in the distance you can begin to see the black, almost onyx stonework temple beginning to come into view. The symbols of the 3 death domain gods are shining in silver on circled plaques. On the very top of it, you can see that there's the wilted rose, the desert flower skull, the skull that looks like almost like a succulent with the bottom jaw beneath it, and a circled with a set of leather wings inside of it. It just kind of peers in as you guys approach, almost seeming to be further away than it actually is, as it just stretches out in the distance.
Fun. Really excited. Okay, how far away are we?
You guys are probably like 200 feet or so.
200 feet. Okay, so we're not quite there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as a note, I am definitely taking my time.
Mm-hmm. Quick question, Drew. Out of game.
Yeah.
Did you get the package that I sent you?
No. Not yet.
Okay, yeah, they said that it was probably going to arrive on Tuesday, and that makes me sad, so.
Okay.
All right, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, at least. Maybe at break I can double check and make sure, but no, I didn't see anything.
Okay, that's fine. So,
anyway, but yeah, I'm definitely walking actually fairly slowly.
Okay.
But yeah, probably, in silence for at least a little while.
So, what can you tell me about your deity?
Well, it's not a lot, to be honest. It's 3, actually.
Oh.
The 3 deities of death, from what I've been able to gather. The three together represent fate.
Interesting.
And they each stand for multiple things, obviously, but they share death as a domain. But to be honest, that's about all I know.
So, what are you trying to find out?
It's kind of complicated. I just want to know what they want with me. They've certainly seemed to take an interest.
Aye.
And I want to know why. I want to know what they have planned.
All right. Well, I didn't want to squash your hopes, but I didn't know if a priest will be able to read the minds of your gods.
Well, I'm not worried about talking to a priest. I'm very certain that if there are any answers that they think fits what I should know right now, they will tell me themselves. And even if there was a priest, I don't think that there would be one who would really be able to tell me what I want.
So, what shall I do? Well, you're doing that.
Mr. DM, how big was the temple that we went in for the Arcana domain?
Pretty substantial. They're probably about 60 to 80 feet deep. Okay. So a pretty good distance. So she could, in theory, wait outside without hurting you too much.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. See, yeah. Well, Melara, I can't stop you from doing what you're gonna do.
Aye.
But I think it best if you wait outside.
You didn't have to tell me twice.
How far have we made it by this point?
You're probably pretty close.
Pretty close.
Spanning probably about 20 feet or so.
Okay.
You're just outside of it. It seems larger now that you're closer, obviously, but it seems even larger than what you would expect it to have been. Almost looming over you, this towering building, probably 35 to 40 feet tall. Just this black stone that just seems to almost absorb light, sucking in little bits of wisps of fog or mist or something, just slowly caressing the 4 or 5 steps that lead up to the entrance, with the kind of Roman pillars out front, the black Roman pillars out front. Very, very large. You would imagine that probably the big symbol on the very top is probably about 4 or 5 feet in diameter, with each one on either side probably being about 2 feet. And so it's a very, very large building, and it's similar size to all the rest of them. These are very, very large, elaborate, distinctive buildings. As you look a little bit closer, you can see actually in the stonework, there's just ever so slightly, like 1/4 inch deep, like filigree that has been carved into the building that just gives it this subtle hints of almost like movement, with ever so slight silver traces that go through it every once in a while. It's a very, very beautiful building, very well carved.
Drew is fighting the urge to turn and run.
So, what do you do?
All right.
Do be sure to ask about our predicament.
I will. If you hear anything, don't come in. Just stay here, please. And I promise I will ask about our situation.
And what do you think I'm going to be hearing? What are you planning to do?
Kill everyone.
I don't know what I'm walking into, Miller. I'm going to be honest. But no matter what happens, I'll be fine. Just stay here, please. I won't be long. Hopefully. No.
All right.
Start making my way in.
Is there a bench or somewhere for me to sit?
Yes, 100%. So, to give a little bit of the situation that you're surrounded in, this area of town is called the Home of the Gods. It's where the 10 temples are. And in front of it, there's the winding staircase that goes up the wall that leads up to the 3rd level. And then out from that, there immediately is a paved road that goes into this large courtyard with a fountain in the middle. On the fountain, you can see just a simple woman bowing her head with like a cloak over her head, kind of flowing down. You can't really see her face all that much, but when you do look at it, you can see that there's tears coming down her face. They're actually like flowing. There's like flowing tears coming down her face.
That's pretty cool.
And all around it, there's elaborate stonework, elaborate pavements. There are 3 loops that go around the side, or if you're to look at it from like a top-down view, it almost looks like a sunflower or some sort of flower like that. And there's trees inside each one of the loops with benches that surround the trees. So there's plenty of places to sit.
I whisper to Ginger, do you think they're compensating for something? And I find a place to sit.
Awesome. You begin to make your way towards that courtyard and immediately feel a tug on your arm.
Oh dear.
Is there a way for me to sit on the ground outside the door?
Yes, 100%. You can just sit down.
I do so.
Okay.
I would like to make a perception check to see if it's safe to bring Ginger out.
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check. Do you sit right next to the blazing cauldron of purple fire or black fire? Or do you sit
Probably not. Probably probably just outside, maybe not right in front of the door, but just to the side of it.
Okay, perfect.
And that is a 21. 21.
Nice. Yeah, so you're looking around and the people that are staying in this vicinity seem to be people that have their own things that they're going through or dealing with. Like, you know, they're just not really looking at you. You can see there's like one woman who's like now exiting one of the temples, like tears streaming down her face as she like crutches down the temple. You can see there's a couple other people. It almost looks like they're in like a heated argument. You can't quite tell why or how, but they're standing in front of one of the temples, almost in like a heated argument. And that's basically it. There's a couple other people around that aren't really paying attention to you. But
right.
yeah, you think that you'd probably be just fine to take out Ginger.
Is the ground that I'm sitting on, is it grass or is it dirt?
So where you're sitting just outside the door, there's it's like it's all that onyx stone that goes up onto the little platform, and that's where there's the Roman pillars, and then behind the Roman pillars is that archway. So if you're sitting just past that entrance, then you'd be on that raised level on the onyx.
Is there a layer of dirt on top of it that I could like use my finger? All right. Then I take Ginger out, I sit down and I sit with my legs crossed, and I take her out and I just put her in between my legs.
Yeah.
I was going to play, I didn't know what fantasy tic-tac-toe is, but I was going to do that.
She looked up at you almost a little annoyed, as like the last 2 days she's basically been like stuffed in your pocket the whole time. So as soon as you like set her down, she like looks up at you and like ruffles her fur and then jumps out of your lap and like goes bouncing out of your view.
Ginger! Oh no. How far did I travel before my arms started to hurt?
About, well, right now, because Kathyr's, we'll say like at this point he's probably about there in the temple, so you probably have about 60 feet of movement.
All right, I'm going to try to run after her because this is not a safe place for her to just be running around. This is not the forest.
You go booking after her. What's the speed of a squirrel? Probably not as fast as you. We'll say you catch her.
All right.
Yeah, she gets about 10 or 15 feet before you like run out and like scoop her up, and she's like squirming a little bit.
Ginger, I know you didn't like to be in my pocket. I know you want to keep running, but this is not the forest, all right? I didn't know who was around that might... I didn't want to say such things, but people might want to eat you. Do you want that? Because I didn't. So stay with me, please.
She just kind of looks sad and then like stops squirming. Her
I'll tell
arms
you
just
what.
like dangling over your fingers.
Let me talk to Kathyr after he's done, and maybe we can go somewhere out in the open where you can run around after this.
She
How's
immediately
that?
perks up a little bit and then like puts her paws back on your hands and just like rests her head in her paws on your hands.
Good girl. And I start walking back.
Yeah, you manage to get back, sit back down. She stays where you put her this time.
All right. Good. I just start talking to her, just kind of as if I'm writing in a journal, but it's verbal. I'm just talking to Ginger about everything.
Sweet. So, Kathyr, before all this happens, you begin to approach this temple. As you look past the Roman pillars into the darkness that is the entrance, there's that faint bit of mist that comes out. And just for a second, you see a man, weathered face, almost like a leather vest, a black leather vest over a black button-up shirt and black trousers, and boots with little spurs on them, cross the entranceway and go out of view. As you continue to walk in, you get to the entrance, the archway, and stop for just a second. Take a deep breath, and then you enter. Mm-hmm. As you step in, it is not anywhere near as dark as it appears. It is actually fairly well lit. You step past, and there are 4 of these, again, Roman pillars on either side of you, with cauldrons of black fire that still illuminate the building very, very well. The inside of it is very well illuminated. Little bits of wisps of smoke or mist or something you can't quite tell still caress the ground. And as you step in, you can see that there's actually quite a few people in here, milling about, talking. And in front of you, there are 3 statues. The first and the biggest is of this woman. Instead of being cast in bronze like the statues in the Arcana domain temple, where these ones are cast in silver, and she is standing there very regally, looking out, with her hands just delicately like placed in front of her lap, sitting there with long flowing hair. It's interesting, the hair, you can't quite tell where it's coming from, but the way that it reflects the light makes it almost have like this reddish tint to it. And then off to the left, you can see this depiction of almost like this Aztec-esque face with, you can imagine it almost being like a humanoid with like a gorilla's head, and like the extended jaw with like the teeth coming out and these large like horns coming out the side of his head. And as the light reflects off of him, he's still silver, but there's tints of green and purple and this bright yellow that kind of go through. And then to the right of the female statue, you can see this very well-kept, very well-standing man with these 2 feathered wings going out from behind his back. His long black hair, where his long hair reflecting almost that black, coming down over his shoulders. You can see that there looks to be like a little bit of rot along the side of his face. Wearing this black, almost like a gown, or a toga of some sort that just goes down, covering his the rest of his body. And through your research, you recognize these as the 3 gods of the death domain: the prime goddess Adaria, off to the left, the primal trickster Azulak, and the decaying duke to the right, the decaying duke Orogal. As you're looking about, in the corner of your eye, you again see that man just hint at your vision as he steps behind one of these pillars. Your eyes are almost like chasing him, looking around, searching for him. And out of the corner eye, you see him this time cross behind the statue of Adaria. And as you follow him, he disappears behind Adaria, comes out from behind the far back left pillar, and then just stands behind this man. You can see he's standing behind what looks to be this really burly human, probably about 6'2". You're talking like 240 pounds, very like healthy around the gut, with this large white beard coming down from his head, his kind of salt and pepper hair pulled back into a bun, wearing these like black robes with hints of like the scarlet inside of it. And he's currently talking to this young woman, holding her hand and talking to her very, very gently. And it's interesting because as you're looking at him, he like looks up and makes eye contact with you and just nods before going back to this woman. And then just for a moment, she kind of nods, and then he shakes her hand and she leaves.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess I'll make my way over to him, to the large burly man of. I'll make my way over to emo Santa.
Yeah, you begin making your way over, and as you go across the temple, the kind of the way that you have to go to avoid some of the cauldrons and the people causes you to have to kind of shift around, and you go around just for a moment, just enough so that this man blocks your view of like the man in leather that you've been following. Mm-hmm. And just as he blocks his view, you come back around, and that the man is gone. The burly man is still there, but the one that you've been following is gone. And as you approach, you can see him make eye contact again with you. He smiles really big. These bright, pearly white teeth come over, or reveal themselves, and he steps forward, saying, "Hello, my name is Ronan, and I'm the head priest of Adaria. How may I be of assistance to you?"
Oh dear. Ronan?
Ronan Sural.
Sorry. I can't write fast.
You're fine.
Okay. Hi. Sorry to bother you. Well, I don't really know what I'm looking for. And I don't know if you can help me. I was, well, I was hoping to commune of sorts.
Alright. What's specifically about? The communal process is one that is quite complicated and usually requires a bit of a heads up. Usually, if there's something that I could help you with, though, I would love to help you. Maybe let's talk and see if that's necessary. What do you wish to commune about?
Is there somewhere place we can talk, maybe away from people?
Oh yes, 100%. Yes. At which point he begins leading you back into this archway behind the statue of Adaria. He leads you through, and in there, you can see that there's a number of almost like confession, like booths inside of it. At which point he opens a door for you and allows you to step in, and then he goes over and he steps into the other one and then slides this little door between you guys so you guys can still look at each other.
Oh, great.
Is this acceptable, or would you like me to close it?
This is fine. Look, I don't
what
have.
Is troubling you?
I don't. Okay, I just need a way to just a place that perhaps I could meditate and just think. All right, I'm not here. I'm not here because I just lost a loved one. I'm not here because I need comfort of a painful thing. I just need a place where I can be close.
My child, you are clearly troubled. I do not wish to pry, and I am not going to force you to talk to me. And you are always welcome to partake in any place of the temple. There are many who come and just sit quietly in the corners. But if you're looking for answers, I would be the man to come to.
Can I make, looking at this guy and trying to read him, can I tell if this guy has seen or heard some really crazy things, and not just like heard it, but like not believe them, but like actually like straight up has seen some crap?
Roll an insight check.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Ooh, that's not fantastic. It's a 9 on die. So I think that's like, what is that for me? It's a 10.
Okay. Looking into him, you can't quite tell, or not into him, but at him, you can't quite tell like what his past is or like what he's seen, but you can tell that this man has a very, very kind soul and genuinely seems to want to help people and help you. And is like, he's sitting there quietly, very patiently, waiting for you to engage, waiting for you to make the first move, trying to make himself as open to anything as possible. He definitely seems like someone who helps a lot of people through a lot of really hard things all the time.
Yep, great time. Okay. All right. When was the last time you encountered someone who sought the counsel and guidance of all three of the gods?
All three of the gods.
And not just
counsel and guidance.
And not just Adaria.
Yes, of Oragal and Alzulak as well, yes. It has been a very, very long time. But
it's happened before.
Yes.
How long?
This was 70 years ago.
And do you know who was this? Who was this man?
He was a soldier. He had died on a battlefield and come back of no account of his own or anyone else. He talked of visions and other things. And I was a young priest at that point. I was not anywhere near the position that I am now, but I do remember him. He was a kind man, confused and lost, but kind. Are you finding yourself in a similar situation?
I had a vision and a dream of these three coming to me, and I came here looking for answers. They told me to find a place, a grove. I don't know where it is. I don't know where to start, but I figured I'd come here.
I don't know this grove that you speak of, but I think I might have a starting point for you.
All right.
Come with me. And he steps out of the confession booth, and then Beatrice begins to go further back into the temple as well. As you follow him, you can see that he leads you into this pretty messy room. There's like 3 or 4 desks that all kind of like form a circle, and then a bunch of bookshelves all around it with scrolls and tomes and maps and artwork. It looks like this is kind of like their office / junk room that they just kind of either possibly work in or have the scribes working on like cataloging things. It definitely looks like a storage place of some sort.
Nice.
At which point he goes over to one of the shelves and starts like flipping through and like lifting papers, and he like takes a scroll and very gently sets it down, and then moves it across and over before eventually, after probably about 2 or 3 minutes, he lifts up the stack of papers and goes, here it is, and pulls out this very, very small leather-bound book. You can see that the pages are really well worn. It's a black leather-bound book with like a silver thread binding along the side of it, and gentle filigree carved into the leather. Probably no more than yay thick or so. Definitely not like a tome by any means, and only probably about 4 or 5 inches tall by 3 or 4 inches wide. Which point he looks this through and he like flips through it a little bit, and then he goes over to you and hands it to you.
Take it.
This is something that he had, that he said that helped him and should help the next. I have held on to it all these years. Yes, the next. The one to follow his steps, or something along those lines. I have not read through it, as it's not my place. But you should. I feel that this is for you.
I'll open it up and just look at the first couple pages.
Yeah, so you open up the first page, and it's the single circle with what looks like scribbles on the inside of the circle, and then there's a ring of text that goes around the outside of the circle, in a language that you can't read at the moment. Outside of that, there's a little border of just natural parchment before what almost looks like billowing, moving ink spreads out from this circle. You flip the page over, and there's the title, The King and the Farmer, I believe is the title. And as you flip through the next couple of pages, it begins to tell this story, this parable. And as you look further through the book, there's another one and another one. It looks like there'll be almost 3 parables throughout this small book before it is finished. It's not a very large book, only probably about 10 or 12 pages.
And okay, and flipping through real quick, can I find the titles to each of these?
Yes. It is. I would tell you to open the package that I gave you, but yeah, I went through and I made the whole book for you, but I don't remember the titles.
You are amazing.
I try. It's The King and His Crops, The Deaf Soldier, and
Death or deaf?
Deaf, as in they can't hear.
Okay.
And then the last one is the Young Priest, or something like that, if I remember correctly. I should have written down the titles, but I didn't. I was hoping that you'd have the book.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. What was your name, my child?
Kathyr.
Kathyr. I'll be praying for you, Kathyr. You clearly have a difficult journey ahead of you, one full of confusion. If you do need any guidance, please stop by and tell me. I would love to help you on this difficult journey.
Right. Well, thank you for your help.
Yes. Come.
Yeah, just get up and start to make my way out, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He leads you through that confession room, back out to the main hall. You can now see the backside of these statues.
Mm-hmm. Just because I'm curious, the back room that we went into, was that towards the Adaria side of the temple?
It was behind Adaria.
But yeah, okay. Yeah.
Adaria, actually, is how you say it.
Adaria.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He leads you past the statues before placing his very, very large hand on your shoulder and just says, "Be at peace and let this guide you. If you do need anything, again, please tell me."
Thank you.
And then he almost grabs the back of your head and squeezes just a little bit and then leaves.
Right. Taking one last glance around at the people, is there anything interesting that I see?
Roll a perception check.
Very quickly, while he's rolling perception, I can confirm the name of the parables are The King and His Peasants, The Deaf Soldier, and Eternal Rest.
I was so close.
Ooh. Okay. Perception 13.
13. You can see there's a couple of different scribes, probably young priests. Again, all trying to help people. There's a collaboration of different people. You can see there's a lot of people who are kneeling in front of the cauldrons of fire, praying. You can see that there's a couple of them that are crying. There's one woman that's crying into what looks like a scribe's robes. At which point you can see Ronan begins to make his way over to her specifically. And that's kind of the general scene. One thing of interest to you though is there is this one woman who is dancing around the statue of Adaria. That's very joyful and almost like a tribal-esque dance. She has a scarf that she's spinning around her. Not, I shouldn't say tribal-esque, but a very traditional dance that she's kind of just leaping and bounding around the statue. You can see that she's pretty old, probably mid to late 70s or 80s. Still moving pretty well. Definitely slower than it could be, but she seems to be the big oddity around everyone else. While everyone else seems to be mourning something, she is sitting there celebrating this dance.
Could I? Nobody else seems to be paying her any mind, though.
There's a couple people that are looking at her, and there's a couple people that are looking at her, but nobody's specifically talking to her.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'll walk over to her.
Okay.
And kind of just casually just ask, "Ma'am?"
She doesn't stop dancing, but she kind of looks at you and says, "Yes."
Just because I'm curious. And why are you dancing?
She stops for just a moment and looks at you and says,
I don't mean to be harsh or judge. I'm just curious, actually.
You're fine. Yeah, relax. I'm going to die soon, and I want to enjoy the life that I have while I still have it. And then she starts dancing again.
All right, then. I'll just kind of turn around and start making my way out.
Mm-hmm. You make your way out, and as soon as you step past the archway, you just hear Melora venting to Ginger about everything, about how stupid it is that she has to be stuck here, about Edward being Edward, about Haval being Haval, whole 9 yards.
Hearing that, real quick, I turn around again and head back in.
Okay.
I find Ronan.
Okay. He is currently talking to a young lady. Not really talking, I should say. More holding her against his chest as she's sobbing into his chest.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and goes, "Yes."
so sorry. But I remembered something that I was supposed to ask you about. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I was hoping for something.
And he like almost like passes her off basically to this other priest that's right next to her, and like strokes her head just a little bit before politely stepping away,
Right.
and pulling you with him. Yes, what is it?
Have you primarily follow Adaria,
Yes, she is my patron.
and do you consider yourself? Does she grant you power?
A little.
Little. I pull up Ruat.
Okay.
A companion of mine recently found this. We're not
Okay.
really sure what its origins are.
All right.
But she found it in a dark, creepy temple of sorts. I don't really know. I didn't see most of it.
All right.
Regardless, and I'll I guess I still have a hole in my shirt, right? For where the rune is.
There is the tear along your ribcage.
Well, yeah, for
Kinda
that,
goes
but like
into your
on my
torso.
arm, I mean.
Oh yeah, there's still a hole right there that you can.
Yeah,
so
because
you
I
can
haven't-
easily show
yeah.
the symbol to.
I'll just kind of show him that.
Okay.
Do you by chance recognize this at all?
He kind of looks at you and then goes, "May I?" As he like reaches out towards it.
Yeah.
He kind of cups your elbow to help support it with his other hand. Kind of like gently pulls it tight so there's no wrinkles in it. I do not recognize this. He seems a little confused. Let me just
And
look at this real quick.
And to clarify something, Mr. DM, sir,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, I can't remember when exactly, but you shared that one doc with myself and Hannah as to what the rod does.
Mm-hmm.
Do we also know the subtext below that of where?
Not entirely.
No. Okay. Okay. Neato.
Does this is it's very interesting as this is scar tissue but also an open wound. Are you marking yourself? Are you going through a process of scarification?
No, actually, it has something to do with this, and I hold up the rod. I hand it to him. But my compatriot and I, when we first met each other, these were singed into our arms, magically. And since then, we are first to be near one another, relatively. And it is of great importance to me that,
He hands you the rod back.
I take it back and put it away. But it is a great importance that we can find a way to separate ourselves. Because I don't want to force anyone to be with me.
I know not of what this is, or nor have I heard of any of this magic before. It is not uncommon for items to have the requirements and curses and different likes of the sorts, so you'd be far better talking to an arcane student or perhaps a member of the Arcana domain. This is not my speciality, nor do I possess any of the gifts to really identify this for you or what this does.
Right. And you don't know of anyone who could, if it is cursed, that could lift it?
I mean, I could try. I do know of the ability to remove curses, or I do have the ability to remove curses, but it would depend on the situation. Is she around? You said that you are forced to be together.
Yeah, she's outside actually.
Why don't you grab her and meet me back in that office that we were at?
All right. I will start making my way out.
Okay.
And
you step out and same situation.
Yep.
She hasn't stopped.
Yep, she hasn't stopped. I didn't think she would. But I just walk over and without really even looking at her, I just say, Melora, might you join me in here for a moment?
You mean inside?
Yep. I am trying to find answers about our connection. And the gentleman I was speaking with thought it's best if we were both in the room.
To speak to someone?
Yes.
I hold out my pocket for Ginger.
She reluctantly crawls up your shirt and then just flops into your pocket.
I know. I didn't want to do it either. All right.
And I'll start making my way back towards the room.
I follow.
Yeah. You follow Kathyr in, Melora, and it's the same scene. You see the 4 black pillars on either side with these cauldrons of this black grayish fire. And they're large cauldrons. You're probably 6 feet in diameter, about as tall as the average person. So pretty large cauldrons. And you begin making your way towards these 3 statues: the one of the woman, the almost gorilla-esque creature, and the man, moving past. At which point, you step past the dancing woman, past Daria, and past the archway going into the confession room. And moving past that, you end up in this back room. And as you can see, the door is slightly open, and you step into it, and it is this mess of papers and tomes and scrolls. There's 4 desks that are covered in materials, at which point you can see this burly man, tan leathered skin with this nice big bushy white beard and salt and pepper hair pulled up into a bun, with this black with hints of scarlet robe, sitting in front of one of the desks with this thick tome in front of him. Looking about him, he is currently looking through it, and begins to gather some different materials. Once he sees that you are there, he stands up and says, hello. My name is Ronin Soral. I am the head priest of Adaria. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
My name's Melora.
Kathyr has been telling me here of your interesting situation that you two find yourselves in.
Aye.
Well, we're going to see if I can't help you here. Why don't we just pull out the rod?
Pull it out.
May I see it?
I hand it to him.
He takes it over to the desk and again flips through some papers. And begins to look at this, and then he brings his fingers together and then opens them into a circle and traces out this circle of this kind of red circle that follows it, and he sets it down over the ring. At which point it begins, or over the rod. He sets the ring down over the rod. At which point it begins to glow and shine, and he starts just whispering these words that almost echo around him as his eyes go dark for just a moment, and then the glowing slowly fades, and the rod is there. At which point he kind of looks up and he says, "Do you feel any difference?"
Do we?
Are the marks on our arms still there?
The marks are still there. You at the moment you guys can't tell if there's any difference.
I kind of say.
Well, there's one way to find out. Give me a couple of minutes here. I'll make my way out.
Okay. My lord, you follow him?
No.
Okay.
I stand very awkwardly and might fiddle with a few books.
You can see as you're like sitting there like fiddling with like pages or like picking up a book, Ronan just kind of like puts his hand behind his back and just kind of goes.
See, this is why I chose to leave, because I knew this would be just super awkward for them.
At which point, Kathyr, you begin making your way out of the temple. You go past the confession room, probably about 40 or so feet, and make it just to the statue of Adaria before there's a searing burn in your arm. Only about 60 feet now.
I was gonna say, only to Adaria. I feel like I would have made it further.
Yeah, you get to Adaria before there's that burning sensation. You begin to feel it, and as you take a couple more steps, it burns. At which point you immediately start to take steps back, as this is a very intense pain. The scar now fresh and red and raw. You, Melora, as you begin to hold onto your arm, Ronan immediately comes over, and with a soothing hand, his hand glows just for a little bit, and it immediately soothes the pain. And he kind of like rubs it out before taking his hand away. I'm sorry. Apparently, it must not have worked.
And
That's all right. We weren't
Which
sure
one?
if it would.
The others that you can talk to. Here, you take this, and he hands you the rod. Perhaps you could talk to a couple different people. My friend Darian is the head priest of the Arcana domain. He might be someone to look into. Otherwise, a powerful mage of some sort. This seems to be, in my brief contact with it, not just something arcane or holy. It is a combination of both. It seems like something before the domains were split. I wish I could be more help to you.
Thank you very much for relieving the pain there.
Yeah, of course.
You didn't get very far, Kathyr. You weren't gone very long.
No, I didn't. This time, I only made it 60 feet. Which, well, in the grand scheme of things, hopefully won't make a really big deal, but still worse.
Aye. Well, do you want to go to the Arcana Temple now, or should we maybe meet up with the rest of them?
I think we should wait. Unless you want to go right now.
No, not particularly.
Right.
That was very painful.
Yeah. Thank you, Ronan, for your help. Now,
of course.
Make my way out.
I very awkwardly kind of like walk backwards with like a and maybe accidentally run into a paper as I walk out, and then I just start walking faster. I'm just like, my people skills just suck.
As you walk backwards, you do run into a paper, but not just a paper, a stack of papers that kind of just flow over, kind of blocking the entrance, and you like trip a little bit backwards as you like fumble over these. At which point Ronan goes, and begins to like start picking them up and just says, "It's all right, you're fine. I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know if you get this figured out. I'd be very curious to know the results of your situation."
I thank you very much. And I start kind of speed walking outside.
Yeah, at which point he begins picking the papers back up. As soon as you guys step outside, you can feel the breeze. It's a much different sensation as inside. It's like very warm and almost cozy. It's dimmish, but kind of cozy. Versus when you step outside, it's bright and but still it's overcast, but still much brighter than inside the temple, and it's colder and there's a breeze. It's nowhere near as pleasant to be outside right now. And you guys step out for a little bit, moving around the large cauldron of black fire. And you're now back into the city.
Right.
All right.
Well,
to the Sunrise Suite.
I suppose indeed. Perhaps we can.
Treat.
Yeah, we can perhaps start a bar fight just to annoy Edward.
I mean, I wouldn't complain if that were the case.
Awesome. So you guys begin making your way over to what you know to be the entrance to the Sunrise Suites.
Mm-hmm. If I mean, how long a walk is it? Like,
it's probably about 300 or 400 feet.
3 or 4. Okay. While we're walking. Well, I'm sorry. Couldn't really find anything out. To be honest, I didn't know what I was really hoping for.
Well, it's not your fault. I can't blame you for it.
But what if it was?
Now, what do you mean by that?
I was the one who got in your way.
Dinna fash, Kathyr. You had a vision of me. I needed help. And you showed up. Neither of us could have known that this would happen.
Right. Although, this does bring up an interesting thought that I've been kind of dealing with in my mind.
Aye.
Regardless of the fact that, well, since it seemingly is going to be longer before we find answers, people really aren't my strong suit, surprisingly.
No.
But, no offense to you, it doesn't seem like you're all that comfortable around people either.
Now, how did you guess that?
I think it was your charming personality.
Very funny, Kathyr.
But regardless...
What's your point?
Regardless, it's easier to be with a friend than it is to be stuck with a stranger. And so, I kind of was thinking, and this past conversation just confirmed it, that perhaps we could actually learn to appreciate our company and not just hate each other. Or...
Do you hate me, Kathyr?
Well, I was more worried about you hating me. Regardless...
As annoying as the situation may be, I didn't hate you. Now, Edward is a different question altogether, but...
Well, he does take a little bit more time to warm up to.
For lack of a better way of saying it, I didn't hate you, but I kind of hate being in this situation. Not necessarily just our arms, just being in the city, being away from my home, being forced to socialize and meet people and form bonds that require trust.
And where is your home?
The forest. I mean, I sleep in the trees. I've lived there my whole life.
But I mean, you've mentioned your parents before. Is there not one place that they are?
Not anymore. I didn't go to that part of the forest anymore.
Right. Sorry, I'm probing deep.
No, that's all right. I haven't been very fair to you.
All right. Well, how about if we do want to learn to be friends, perhaps we can start off easy.
What did you have in mind?
What's your favorite color?
I look at what I'm wearing. Green.
Green. And why?
Red is a close second because of ginger. It's what my mother used to wear. She always looked so lovely in it. My brother, he had the greenest of eyes I've ever seen in my life. It's a lovely color.
I would agree. That's my favorite personally, but it's not a bad start.
Well, what is your favorite color?
That's...
You haven't got one?
No. Blue. Sky blue.
The sky is bonny. As is water.
Yeah, but I always was fascinated by the sky. It's changing, and the night sky with the stars are always beautiful.
Aye. You can get a good view of it when you're in the trees.
Can't deny that, but nothing beats a good field where you can just lay down in the grass and just look up, enjoy the breeze.
Can't I say I've done so? I feel comforted by the trees overhead. I know that I'll have somewhere to hide.
I never did have to hide.
It's very lucky of you.
Grant, I can't handle you right now.
I'm so sorry. Keep going. This is great. Keep going.
Shh, we're not here. We're not here.
Keep going.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Oh dear.
I've had to hide my... Oh no.
Wait. Uh-oh. We didn't... Oh,
I'm back.
she's
I'm
back.
back.
There we go. We didn't lose her.
I'm back. Nope, it just froze. I've had to hide my whole life, pretty much, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
brought it on myself most of the time, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I love the rolls.
You kinda lose anybody important to you when you don't have anybody in your life.
You're not wrong. But if...
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
This is probably the longest conversation with one single person I've ever had in years.
Well, it's not a bad start.
I suppose not. And what about your family?
Oh,
Seeing as I told you about mine, I think it's only fair.
well, back home, I have both my parents. My mother is a bit of a political figure of sorts. Very kind, but also very forward and very... She knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to say something.
That sounds like my mother as well.
My father, he was usually at home. He always enjoyed nature, though. Loved being in the wilds, watching the flowers grow. He got into gardening when he was young, he told me. And I have several siblings.
Several?
Yes.
Are you the youngest?
Oldest.
Didn't know why I get that feeling. Really?
Actually, I have a twin sister, my sister Valna.
You have a twin?
Although...
Where is she?
Back home. She is... actually likes to be around children. She loves children. Very good with them, too. She works with them, teaches them, tutors them. She's around them all the time. And...
You sound like... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You sound like you've got a very nice home life.
It was. And if I'm honest, being here is the craziest thing I've done in a long time.
Why did you leave, if you didn't mind me asking?
Well, like
you didn't have to answer.
Well, like I said before, I told you I was coming. I came here for answers.
Aye.
But my original reason for leaving was, one night when I went to bed, I found myself, in a strange place, far from home. I was in a grove of sorts, a small pasture. Couldn't see it past the surrounding brush or tree. And in the center of this grove, there was a tomb, or tombstone. And I just heard a voice to find this place. And so I got my things prepared, and I said my goodbyes, and I left. And I figured this would be a good place to start, but I know my journey continues.
I've just been in the forest with Ginger for a few years now. I like to look out for the animals. A lot of them, they kind of help themselves when they're being hunted or anything of the like. I didn't agree with the hunting of animals. I understand how it may be necessary for the survival of some people, but I try not to, especially now that I have Ginger. I didn't think she would take very kindly to anything like that. But she's made it nicer in the forest.
Well, you could almost imagine, if I may be so bold as to say that a friend isn't so bad.
I suppose. I kind of forced my friendship upon her, if I'm being honest.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
And what do you mean by that, Kathyr?
Let's just say you know what you want, and you're not afraid to say something about it.
That's a much bonnier way of saying it than a lot of people might.
I'm not a lot of people.
I suppose not.
I was going to say, how far we made it.
You guys have been standing at the entrance with the floating stone for probably the last 10 minutes or so.
I feel like so far I kind of feel bad. It's just been Malora and Kathyr this session for the first hour and a half.
You guys are standing there. It's the Sunrise Suite entrance above you, with the intimidating and pompous and aggravating text of only come if you're worthy, scribbled across the top.
Yep.
And then you guys take the familiar step up to or onto the stonework, and we'll get back to you guys in just a second.
Yep.
The rest of you, we picked up, or we're going to pick up with you guys just as you are arriving or going up the stones. As you're floating, there is a gold band that begins to float above you, just about waist high, that allows you guys to prevents you guys from falling off of these floating stones as they raise up and up and up. Eventually you guys get to the point where you're probably about 100, possibly 150 feet above the ground as you guys begin to float over the lower levels, slowly making your way up towards the roof. You can see that there's this one marble platform coming out of the roof with another stone arch that is currently filled. And as Haval and Edward arrive, that the beam in front of you guys, the bar of light in front of you guys, swings open to connect with these two bars of light that come out around the platform, allowing you to step onto it safely. And then as Renaya and Tarak come up.
Yeah, as we're heading up, I'm gonna turn to Renaya real quick. I'm gonna say, Renaya, I feel as though we may have glossed over something just a little bit. Are you really okay? I feel like we didn't actually check. It was more of a, Renaya, are you fine? And then you were like, sure. And then we kind of just left. Like, are you, like, you were like in a real dark, and I mean that literally, like not metaphorically. I mean literally a pitch black room for I don't know how long, and I don't know how you got there. Are you good?
Yes.
That yes sounds more like a no with the wrong letters.
I have a lot I need to think about.
Well, thinking is good.
Thinking can be very good.
Yes, but there are times when thinking can be much worse. I don't want it to get there for you, but if you think that thinking is all that you need, I will be forced to agree. If you ever think that you want to do something more than think, please, I don't care if it's me, just tell someone. Maybe Melora. You seem like you like her. It'll be great. But just take care of yourself. I can only barely heal the physical. I can't do anything mental. I don't want to lose your life while trying to save Samuel's.
I appreciate that, Tarak.
Anyway, what's the deal with this floating rock?
I don't know. I was going to ask about it too.
Like, whoa. That's... wow. Wow. I'm done.
You guys continue to awkwardly debate this floating rock for probably about another 2 or 3 minutes as it floats. Eventually, you reach that marble platform as well. Again, the gold bar that is around you, a little bit wider than the one for Haval and Edward, again, swings open to connect with the gold bars over the marble platform, allowing you to step on. At which point, you guys go to approach the entrance that is covered in stone, and once you get within like 2 or 3 feet
before
of it,
we walk up to the entrance.
Yes, I was going to say I have something to say as well.
I picture that Edward and Haval talk at the same time. So ready, I'm going to count to 3, and then we're both going to start talking. Ready?
Oh my god, I love this.
Oh no, lag.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
What
so
I was
I'm glad
talking
you guys are
about
here.
is that everything.
Excuse me, Haval.
No. Okay, listen here. I have something very important to say.
I do too.
No, okay. I just came to. Okay, I was in a completely weird state of mind. Everything was really clouded for about, I don't know, about a week. But I've realized something.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Actually, you go first. You go first.
Okay, thank you. Listen, I've only been in here like maybe once, and I was young, okay? I don't remember well. This could be very bad if we do it wrong. So I want you...
Okay, I'll cut you off right there.
Well, excuse me. I have more to say. It's not much. Just be patient for like literally a minute for once, okay?
Renaya's just going back and forth.
So I will introduce the party because I have a little bit of grounding in this area of the city, and there are some very important people here. So don't offend anybody. Don't touch anything either. Okay? That's pretty much it. I'll just introduce us, and we'll go from there. Just be on your best behavior. Be quite nice. Can I talk? Okay, that's it.
Can I talk now? Is that all right?
Yes.
Can I do that?
Yes, go.
Wonderful. Okay. First things first, if I'm going to be entirely honest, and I look over at Renaya and Tarak, and I go, I am not a part of the mafia. I don't know where you got that random idea and why I didn't interject on any regard. I was completely lost in thought while you were talking about that, but I just realized, what the actual heck? What? No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I said that all honesty, I don't know what a mafia is. I've heard it in a story a couple of times, and it sounds shifty. They use money. I don't really get that whole thing.
Okay.
We don't use money really where quickly, I'm from.
Really quickly. I don't want you to pull that right now.
There are worse things than the mafia.
True, but I am not a part of the mafia, okay? That is insulting to my integrity.
If anything, you're a part of the mafia, and I point at Tarak.
Anyways, so no, the reason why I'm bringing this up, and this is actually Ryan speaking now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Tarak, Aaron, you did say it in character.
Oh, I 100% said that. I know. I also just replied to you in character, Ryan.
I'm just saying, for clarity's sake. Anyways, so that being said, on that note, I am not a part of the mafia, and as well, Edward.
Yes.
Edward.
Hello.
You are not going to be the one talking because you will get us kicked out almost immediately. I am going to.
What are you talking about? I'm a fellows. I'm used to this kind of environment.
And I am a Sagart. Obviously, you don't know my name or the things that I can do. You do realize that I paid for everyone's. If we're talking about wealth,
yes,
we're talking about
how did you do that? By the way,
for everyone's bedding, food, minus yourselves, of course, because you are a fellows, are you not? You have your own money that you can work with.
Yes, and who did you steal from in order to pay for everybody?
Do you think that I stole from people?
Well, I mean, I don't know your name.
Something?
I'm just saying,
now, isn't it?
Has a lot of money. We don't know where it comes from. Said his last name was Cigarette. Sounds like mafia to me.
Okay. Haval, I do respect you for having that money. That is quite impressive. Okay, as long as you can handle yourself around high class, I just do it and don't be offensive. That's all I have to say. Okay,
Edward, do you want to know where I got my money from?
I would love to know. Yes,
I would also like.
There are 1,000 other jobs out there in the world that none of you guys have any idea about. One of those things is that I work with very rich people, much like your family, Mr. Fellows. And I get things done for them. More specifically, I am a collector consultant. Okay, I know where you can find things. I know I have informants that I discuss with that know of the places of these relics that people search for. Okay, I work with libraries. I work with people. Okay, with information. That is my job, and I get paid very well for finding these things.
Yes, okay. So you're kind of like one of my family's miners, like in the mountains.
No, I am
kind of like that, but with artifacts. Yes?
No, I am an acquisitions consultant. That being said, I find the mountain, while your miners find the mineral. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that's an important job, but you work for people, right? See, I don't work for anyone.
Is it hard to find a mountain? Aren't they very large? The mountains I know of are quite large.
I think you can just tell when you look at them, but
it's like a big hill most of the time.
It's like a giant rock. It's like you can't miss it, really.
I'm sorry. You can continue arguing.
No,
Don't worry about us. You
no,
keep
that's
going.
totally.
No, by all means, we were just having a conversation here, and then you just started rambling on about rocks. I mean, go ahead, if that's more important. I mean, we're about to step into something quite dangerous. But you can talk about rocks if you'd like. Go ahead.
When you say
Gonna put her
danger,
head down.
it's quite dangerous.
Edward,
In
stop
what
talking
way?
down to them. They were questioning my job. You were questioning my integrity. So the grand scheme of it all is that you are wrong to believe that I am so low as this mafioso that you believe. But I will be clear. I have been to places similar to this. I've been here before, and I'm going to head this. You all will follow my lead, correct? Understood.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop you. I'll help if I can. But if it goes wrong, then it's your fault and not mine.
Wonderful. I accept that fate. If I do require your assistance, I will gesture towards you. You will see your cue.
Havel,
Okay, show me how it's done then, Mr.
Yes,
Fancy.
Tarak.
I feel as though I may be in the process of having a misunderstanding. You said it was dangerous. Isn't it just a bunch of rich people?
Rich people are very dangerous, especially if they're under the guise of someone much richer.
So should I have my
No,
blade?
no,
No?
sure, we'll be fine. All right.
Well, I mean,
Has
all right.
everyone steeled themselves? Are they ready for this? Whatever the hell we're going to walk into.
I guess so. I mean, if you're leading, then I'll just follow.
Should I
Wonderful.
put the cloak up, down?
I don't think it'll
Definitely
matter, but
up.
you could wear it if it makes you feel more secure.
Definitely up. Try to cover your teeth.
Don't be rude to him.
Oh no, it's fine. It's.
I don't know if these
It's
people are used
evident.
to being around orcs. It's
It
just
doesn't
something.
matter. Okay? Doesn't matter because
I'm
you-
thinking about the safety of the party.
Edward,
I think
Edward,
we all want the
Edward.
same thing. We just aren't really communicating in the best
Tarak.
manner.
Tarak.
Yes.
Tarak,
Havel isn't
Next.
communicating well.
Tarak.
And
I'm not communicating well. Renaya, I appreciate you trying to be the peacemaker, but can I say something? Can I be clear on something? And a point that obviously Edward has glazed over. So people lie. When we have people like Melora or Tarak or the majority of people that aren't so accustomed to city life around, especially say Tarak, who is an orc, a well-spoken orc, but that means nothing to the majority of people. You do realize that I've worked for people that literally carry orcs as pets. Now, Tarak, I'm not saying that you are my pet, but I am saying that if they question, you are my servant. You are our servants.
I could go with that. Sure.
Great.
That makes sense to me.
I find that hard to believe.
Tarak,
I'm not going. I just look. I'll
we live
do
in a
what you
world-
say.
We live in a world with very disgusting practices, is all I
Oh,
can
it's not the practice that surprises me. That's not the part that I don't believe.
Then what
Any
is it that
orc that would
surprises
become a servant is not an orc.
We live in a world with very disgusting practices, not all of which are humane.
Like bathing in a public area.
Correct.
That's crazy to me.
Anyways, so we start walking. I just book it towards the thing.
All right,
So-
DM, your turn. Do your
you
thing.
guys, having been on this platform arguing, you turn to step towards this arch, and as you step forward, once you get within a couple feet of it, the stones that fill the archway begin to crumble and fall, just as you're like stepping through them, allowing them to pull back. And after about 6 feet or so, you step through into this very large, almost ballroom type of place. There's gold walls with white trim, white curtains that it's interesting. They like cover windows that go what would be further into the mountain, but have depictions of this beautiful blue sky, overlooking this little bit of a mountain range. Inside the ballroom itself, to your left, there is one single pedestal or a pulpit almost that has what looks like a book on it, and then there are several tables covered in white linens going out to your right with a grand circular spiral staircase that goes up just in the far left corner. You can see there is this one man with this large curling mustache and a little bit of a goatee, his hair slicked back and like a pullover, and he sees you and immediately hops to attention. He goes, hello, how are you doing? My name is Jericho Savant, and I am here to serve you. What can I be doing for you?
I remove my necklace and palm it and extend my hand to him. And I go, Haval Cigars and Company, pleasure to meet you. And as I hold his hand firmly and look at him, and I'm like, I am of the acquisitions department.
I see. All right. And what can I be doing for you, Mr.
We do have some questions in order. More specifically, don't we not, friends?
Oh, well, yes, I would like to say this is a very lovely place. I am a fellows. I am a fellows, and it's it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to be here among you fine people today. And I love the venue. Love the venue.
Fellows,
Continue, Haval. Yes, indeed.
If it is all right, I would very much like to shake your hand.
Of course. And I shake his hand firmly, like my father taught me to.
Yes. At which point he, his very, very soft hands, almost like, it's funny. He almost like melts in your hands as he puts both of his hands over you and shakes them very firmly, almost a little too excited. How is your father doing?
He's working very hard. There's a lot of good positive steps forward in the business right now. You see, we're thinking about perhaps raising the prices again. Things have been going well, so he's been working long hours, and I worry for him sometimes, but I think he's going to be quite happy with how the business moves forward from here.
That is good. We do wish for his health to remain strong. To tell him next time that you see him that he and his friends are always welcome here at the Sunrise Suite.
I will indeed deliver that message to him. Thank you, kind sir. Now, I believe Haval was saying something.
Really quick, DM,
Yes.
Did he hand me back my necklace?
He never took it. He
never
just
took
felt
it?
it in his
He just felt it in his hand?
and then-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, well, we have some questions. Is there, is just you that is currently on staff, or is there anyone
yes.
else that is just you?
Yes, it would just be me.
Okay. And might I suppose ask, are you by any chance, what do you offer? Do you keep a, we mustn't speak freely, but do you keep books? Can you, in regards to information, are you an informant that I can?
I usually work with librarians and the musicians.
Ah, I see. Okay, so you're wonderful. Please, can we have a seat? Do you have anything to drink?
Please. Come. At which point he leads you over to one of the larger tables, one that could fit all of you, and pulls back a chair for each of you before rushing over into a back room behind the bar, and coming back with five actually, what looks like crystal glasses and a very large bottle of red wine. Which when he comes over, he sets one glass in front of you and pours a perfect cup of wine before leaving the bottle on, and then he goes back and grabs a platter with breads and cheeses and butter on it and sets it down in front of you guys as well. So, and he flips his tails back as he sits down at the head of the table. What is it that you are looking for?
DM, what is the name of the woman that I spoke to? That sits at that shop or whatever? I can't remember her name. I don't think I wrote it down.
Melusina.
Melusina.
Yeah.
I should probably write that down.
Melunsina. Melusina.
Okay. I sort of just, I take a sip out of wine and I go, fine taste.
We do.
This wine is quite exquisite. Thank you.
Do you have any like tea or something?
Oh yes. Do you have a particular blend that you're looking for?
Just whatever's easiest.
Oolong. I do ask if you could bring
Oolong
some
is
oolong
an
tea.
I would like some
excellent
oolong as well.
choice. Very, very. I can see we're in the company of fine men. At which point he stands up and proceeds.
I'm a woman, but okay.
What is oolong?
I look to Havel and say, "You're a fan of oolong. That's my favorite. Maybe
It's the
we will
only
get
tea.
along after all."
It's the only tea that I drink, Edward.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Is that a person?
Perhaps once. I say to
Also,
Tarak.
I think this is going quite well. Keep it up, guys.
You're telling me.
At which point he returns with a couple more cups. These ones, they look like they were like made of clay. They're porcelain cups made of clay. Just very, very simple design with a little press of the symbol of Sunrise Sweets. Basically, the sunrise going over the mountain. Just this little symbol of it is pressed on the side or embellished on the side of these porcelain cups. Not painted or anything like that. Very, very simple in their design. Very almost this. You can tell that they're going for this beauty and simplicity type of elegance. At which point he sets down one of these cups in front of each of you. And you watch as he prepares this tea, as he rolls these leaves and kind of breaks them up just a little bit and then puts them in a little bag, tying it off and placing it in the cup. At which point he then goes back and grabs a cup of water for you, Renaya, and puts down the cup of water and says, "You may drink this while you wait. The tea will just take a few minutes to prepare."
Okay, thank you.
Also, I do apologize. I did not mean to exclude you earlier.
That's
my
fine.
mistake.
I'm
I am
used
very,
to
very
it.
sorry. That is very heartbreaking for someone as beautiful as you.
Woo! Zinger.
And he then returns around, again flipping his tails as he sits back down and says, "So, as we were,
Yes. Remind me of your name again. I apologize. I'm very bad at names.
Jericho Serovic."
Jericho Serovic.
That tongue roll, though.
I can tell he worked on that one.
Trying for you guys.
Jericho, I have a few questions. First things first. When was the last that you worked under the hand of Melusina, or worked within the company of Melusina? I believe she is residing within the city right now.
Melusina. I believe she held an event here, not but a couple weeks, and then we also catered for one of her events. She resides on the lowest level, I believe.
She does. Do you know of her profession? Because I don't believe that she is one of ours.
No, she was simply a customer. I know that she works for an organization. I know that she heads this place. She is in charge of heading meetings, from what I understand. She seems to be the one at the head of the table when they were here, and for the brief moments that we were in her abode, she seemed to be heading conversation, at least.
Interesting. Do you... They were celebrating something?
No, they were having meetings, discussions.
Meetings,
they were
discussions.
discussing business.
Do you know of the matters at hand?
I cannot say. There is a level of discretion, as you know, but I
am aware, but could I sway you in any way?
Potentially. In what regard? How many?
I am willing to sway you. I'm willing to work with you very handsomely if you can further my knowledge of. Perhaps, did you hear of a boy named Samuel at all?
Roll a persuasion check.
No, you can't roll badly on this. Renaya's been waiting for like a year.
This roll depends on the next session.
17.
You see him think for a moment. There was no mention of Samuel. There was mention of a boy.
Of a boy.
Yes.
Any description?
Small.
No.
Mostly incapacitated.
Rough age?
They did not mention what has happened to him or of what they plan to do with him. Just that he is involved.
And of importance, from what it seems.
Yes, they mentioned several, not just a single boy, but several.
How heavy is he dancing around information right now?
Roll an insight check.
He has a passive deception of 50, just so you know.
22.
Okay. He is definitely withholding information, but not a lot. He's trying his best to
accommodate
without like he's trying to help you out as much as he can without getting himself in trouble.
Yeah.
Now, we have mentioned our friend Meloncina. Would you be able to disclose who, in fact, she was meeting with in regards to Samuel? This is quite pressing.
How great of compensation are we talking about, Haval?
I can help if you need it.
Can you provide? No. Edward, it is all right. Can you provide a room for me? Just a private room. I will only need it for a few minutes.
If you would like to follow me, he stands up.
Okay, I get up and I go, Renaya, follow me.
She gets up.
And I'm gonna follow Jericho.
Okay. Instead of going back towards the bar, he goes further into this dining room to where you can see there's a couple of French doors that he opens and that lead into this patio and further into almost a garden with this nice stonework, and it's very, very large. And it's interesting because you can see the carved ceiling above you, as this is the place that's carved out of the roof of this mountain, quote unquote. But you can also see several tunnels that are dug through the ceiling of it that allow light to filter in, allow sunshine to filter in. And he goes out before going over across the garden and looks around before gesturing towards a bench for you both to sit on.
Okay.
At which point he then sits on the lip of the fountain that this bench is in front of.
I go, actually, Jericho, if this is all the same to you, I would like to speak to Renaya privately.
Oh, of course.
Please tend to them. If they require anything, I will take up the tab.
Of course. If you need me, just call. I will be back in the dining room.
Thank you.
At which point he stands up and then heads back in.
And I look over at Renaya. You've put me in a very interesting situation, you know that, right?
I tend to find those.
Yes, well, did you get my note?
Your message.
Yes, from the woman, yes.
Yes.
I handed her a slip, I suppose. I assumed she would hand it to you, but whatever. You can only work with help so much. Renaya, I haven't known you for long, and I haven't known the majority of the people here for long, but oddly enough, I for some reason feel like I need to assist you. And admittedly, I don't have much else to do, and this is the closest thing of line of work that I could find recently. So I will simply ask, why should I help you? Explain to me what you did and why Samuel is so important. and you do not, and you will not dance around answers, you will speak plainly to me, because I can help quite a bit. But the situation calls for me to give up one of my hands for this. An ace up my sleeve. Call in a favor. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's worth it quite yet. So you need to sway me. I want to know why you were in the hands of a witch and why Samuel was captured.
I don't quite appreciate the tone you have.
Okay. I apologize. Sincerely. I apologize. It's just that right now, if I am not careful, I could die and all of this could be for nothing. And I mean that in the sense that we could all disappear and no one would know that we even existed. We are but blips in the grand scheme of this, and I need to know more information, Renaya. I want to help you. I really want to help you, I do, but I can't just be throwing myself around for something that I don't even know what's going on. We haven't been explained anything, we haven't been told anything, we just know that a boy is lost, and I don't know why. I don't know why this boy is lost. I don't know why I should be helping you. I want to help you. You are a nice person. You have done nothing wrong. If anything, I can sense that you have been hurt countless times and that you right now are dealing with quite a lot of pain and a lot of regret. It takes one to know one. So I need to ask, and I, in fact, plead. Tell me why we should be helping you.
I can't ask you to help me. This is my fault. I need to face the consequences of this.
Don't be stupid.
I'm not stupid.
Renaya, how close were you to death when you faced this woman?
I don't know. I got knocked out before I could really tell.
She spared your life then.
And that's why I have hope for Samuel.
There won't be much more hope for him if we waste time. Traffickers do countless things with the people that they acquire. I fear that they are planning the worst for him. And I understand that you want to atone for your sin by yourself. But if that were the case, if you really believed that you had to face this alone, why are you still here?
I don't want to be alone.
No one does, Renaya, and I don't want you to be alone. You're our friend. For whatever that's worth, in the small amount of time that I've known, I would not have paid an absurd amount of coin for you all to have a wonderful night's rest if I didn't think that you earned it. I'm very good with people, Renaya. Believe it or not, right now I'm being very firm, but I know people. And I know that all of you have faced some amount of pain, some amount of loss. We all have, and I believe you all deserved a break. But right now we're talking about work. We are talking about the possibility of a life at line. And Renaya, you don't want to be alone. We don't want you to be alone. We want to help you. So please, tell me. Tell me something. It doesn't have to be everything.
I don't have answers for you, Haval. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know why she took him. I don't know anything.
Can you answer me one thing? You don't have to answer. You don't have to. Admittedly. I'll tell you what. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. But you have to promise me something. Don't ever think that you are alone or that you have to do anything alone. I have more red in my lantern than any person I know. You are a woman of the cloth. You are kind. You are gentle. You are a peacemaker. I see nothing but good intention. Don't ever think that you need to be alone to solve your problems. Lord knows that I thought that for far too long. Do you promise?
I promise.
Okay. Haval just kind of like looks up. He goes, "Do you hear that? I very much potentially am about to get myself back under your thumb. Back where I started. I worked so hard. And now here I am." I take the coin from my necklace and I tear it off. And I roll it across my hand. And I go, "Let's hope that this works. Okay? For your sake and mine. I pray to the gods. I pray to Aprion, to the death domains that Kathyr follows, to your god, Malice. I pray to the tricksters and to the divine that this works, because if we don't get any information from this, then I have nothing." And I go back into the kitchen.
You go back in. Renaya, do you follow?
Renaya will follow after a minute.
You both follow. In that little bit of time, Kathyr and Melora, you guys have now made your way up to that pedestal, or not the pedestal, the platform, and made your way onto that platform. Same thing as Gold Bar came around, and as you approached the little arch with a little bit of wording on it, the stones began to fall away, allowing you to enter into that, at which point Jericho then introduced himself, and you guys pointed out that you were with them. Everyone said hi, and now you're all sitting together at this table.
Now, have you ever thought about the first person who like ate cheese? Like, what? How do you think that happened?
You know,
like they were just sitting there and they were like, rotted milk. Great.
Wait, cheese.
Has this
Yeah,
what
how
you've been...
would that happen? Do people eat cheese with sand rats?
We don't
Haval
have
and-
cheese. The only cheese we have is from camels.
You don't have
It's-
cheese.
It's real bad. It's
Cheese is the
real
best.
bad.
Tarak,
Haval and Renaya now step in and approach the table.
Jericho.
Our friends. Yes, thank you, Jericho, for ushering these kind people to the table.
I'm very
Of
confused.
course.
It would all make
What
sense.
were you
hopefully,
saying
by the end
about
of this.
cheese?
Tarak was wondering how it was discovered. Do you know?
Well,
That's not something
No.
my tutors taught me.
But I didn't think that was one of the questions that we were meant to be asking while we were here.
Well, Renaya
Havel's
and,
on that.
Oh, yeah. They kind of
Oh.
left.
While this, like, as I get cut off, I look over at Renaya and I go, looking at Renaya, I say, Jericho,
Yes.
I would like to call upon my right. And I put down the coin on the table and I go, Renaya, if you are lying to me, by the gods, I will never let you live this down.
Wait, hold on. What's about to happen right now?
At which
This
point
is getting
Jericho,
intense.
Havel, I can cover it if you need me to, man.
I start putting cheese slowly.
Jericho, you can see that he is almost hesitant as it's dawning on him just how
Important this apparently is.
intense of a person you are.
I put my hand on the coin and I look at him and I go,
I swear, Jericho, if you do not find me every ounce of info, we will need more than just a veil for you.
I understand, my young master. At which point he pulls the coin out from under your hand.
Yeah. Oh, this piece of shit.
So, your question.
Oh dear.
I do not know where the boy is or where they are keeping the rest of the children that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I can arrange a meeting for you.
Oh, is that what that'll get me?
More people to talk to, more lies and deceit.
I can arrange a meeting for you and an escort to follow them to where they go.
That is more like it, finally. Jesus Christ. Okay,
As
yes.
for the waiting time, you are welcome to any room in the estate. You have access to every luxury we provide.
For how long?
It should only take a few hours. Melusina has always been a very punctual woman.
Nice.
Realize that is a lot that I just handed.
Is there something else that you would like?
No. I accept this. Does that sound all good to everyone?
For
We
one
talk-
coin, sure.
We talk to the people. We talk to the people that did this. We try to find answers. Does that satiate everyone's needs?
I
Well,
suppose.
if you know what you're doing, I suppose.
Renaya, does
Whatever
that
you-
sound good?
Yes.
Great.
Whatever you just did, does it allot anything more than that?
Your finest wine. Everyone
Close.
draw a bath, bathe,
Right,
get
that's not
ready,
exactly
prepare
answering my
yourselves.
question, but
What else do you want, Tarak?
Something I can provide for you, my master.
Yes. If you haven't noticed, I'm well, no, never mind. If you don't have to do a whole lot of work, if you just happen to know of another orc just in the city, anything would be great.
There was an orc with the woman.
Excuse me.
Oh, there
Huh?
was
Oh
not.
no.
It was
Oh.
small. With a dark gray skin.
Hold on, you mean with the witch with the who?
Melusina.
No.
Does that answer your question, Tarak?
Hold on a second. When was this orc scene?
He was there with her when we catered for them about a week ago.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
Jericho. Now that Tarak's question has been answered, does this allot me a little bit more information as well regarding to something personal?
Do you require... Here, let us allow everyone to explore the luxuries of the estate, and then you and I can talk some more.
Okay.
I
Wonderful.
can't believe we have to deal with another orc.
Is
You're
there
telling
anything
me.
that I can provide for any of you? New clothing, food, wine?
Everyone, I currently quite literally set us up. If you need a new cloak, Melora, please do ask. They will find you the finest linen. Renaya, if you require any books, scribes, papers, anything, they will provide so. Kathyr, if you need a quiet place filled with the finest of gold and filigree to pray to whatever god you want to pray to, I'm sure we could find something. But for the next couple hours, we are staying here, so please.
Wait, what about me?
Edward, you're a fellows. I'm sure you're fine with.
Well, a bath would be nice.
Well, we can provide that too.
Okay,
Can I get a
good.
shield? The government took mine.
I can provide the shield for you.
Thank you.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
could you also perhaps whip up some fresh biscuits? Somebody took mine earlier today.
What bread? would
I
you
don't want to
made
ask
of?
for too much work, but just
What grain would you like this to be made from?
just pure wheat
Fine.
with butter on it.
Jericho,
I was shooting Haval the whole time, by the way.
studded leather.
Well, I have gotten many comments about my cloak.
I think it
So,
looks great.
I like
Thank
it.
you very much, Tarak. If you have green, if it isn't too much trouble, I also haven't
Aurora,
got any other shoes, and I've got some holes in mine.
Anything
No.
else?
Melora, you don't have to get rid of the cloak. I am okay. I apologize. I stand up and I look at everyone. I'm like, I apologize for my intensity. I apologize for what I have said. I apologize for the stupid actions that I have brought upon this group. And I hope deeply that this will alleviate some of that.
It's all right, Havel.
If I may, could I perhaps get a new shirt?
Yes.
Oh, Edward, if you didn't want me to fix up your pants.
I
maybe
was
we could-
thinking the same thing.
I mean,
They're
I'm
driving.
more than
The whole
willing.
are driving me crazy.
I'm more than willing to help you, but I mean, if you could get a new
Well,
pair,
would you stitch it up, or would it be magical? Will it be nice?
I think it would be lovely, no matter what she did.
Okay,
Thank you, Kathyr.
Kathyr, but if I get the choice between
Well,
stitching my pants and getting a
Edward.
new pair, I'm going to get a new pair.
Edward.
Yeah.
I made everything that I'm wearing right now.
It's pretty impressive.
Thank
Could I
you
get
very
some new
much.
pants, please? The same color, same fit.
Ah,
I mean, no offense to Melora. It's a new pair of
Now,
pants. What can I say?
How could I not take offense to that, Edward? If you're
It's a new
thinking
pair
about it
of
really hard,
pants. It's a new
then
pair.
why did you ask me what my skill level was if you were going to get new pants the whole time?
Well, magical means generally seamless, and I like the seamless look. It's not you, it's me.
This
Well,
point in
that's something
time,
we could agree on.
Tarak's leg is bouncing so hard that it's hitting the table, and like some of the glasses are wobbling. He looks panicked. He has had I have had an epiphany.
As you're bouncing the table, you can see that Jericho has just picked up the one glass of wine that he has and is just holding it just above the table. At which point, during all this, he had snapped and waved his finger, and a couple waiters come over with a pen and a paper, a quill and paper, and they go to each one of you, going through your individual requests and writing everything down. At which point, Jericho says, "If you do need anything, feel free to let us know. The scribes will take care of you. They will show you to your rooms, show you around the estates, tend to anything that you need. Havel,
Yes,
talk if you are ready."
please.
Beautiful. Would the garden be suffice, or would you like some other place?
I quite like the garden.
Fantastic, as do I. At which point he stands, downs his glass, and sets it gently down on the table.
Before we leave, I look back to everyone. And everyone, I apologize for almost getting you killed. I don't want you to say that it's all right, because it's not all right. You all are very kind people. Even you,
Thank
Edward,
you,
believe it
Havel.
or not. Yeah, even
Thank
you.
you.
Although you're a bit stupid, you're kind.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Edward.
I
I said what I
was
said.
schooled by the best tutors.
Edward.
Yeah,
Let him
yeah,
finish.
yeah. Let him apologize.
I,
Go on.
you know, for a while back, I had a group of friends, similar to all of you, ragtag. A little bit of baggage on each of our shoulders. I failed them. Don't expect me to do this too often, what I just did. But Renaya, it very much looks like this is very important to you. And I do not want you to lose sleep over something like this. I can tell that you tried really hard and that you really care about this child. And I'm sorry that you lost him. And as for everyone else, please do enjoy yourselves. And I'm sorry for being a proper asshole.
Havel, you keep apologizing, and I didn't know about everyone else, but in my opinion, I didn't think you had anything to apologize for. We can leave the past in the past, Havel.
Well,
We're all right. We're alive. And you've clearly done something very important, which I'll be honest, I came in a bit late. I'm not really sure what it is you did. But I'm sure that it took a lot of you. So, thank you.
Yeah, I guess as the common folks say, we're cool. But I'm not going to forget about that biscuit.
those were very
I'm
good
smiling.
biscuits.
Edward's smiling at me.
Those were very good biscuits, and I don't
I know,
apologize
and I didn't
for
get
that
a fresh
biscuit.
one. It's fine. It's fine.
Jericho,
Yes.
we can go now.
At which point he opens one of the French doors, allowing you to get ahead of him, and steps through, closing the doors behind him. And that's where we're going to take our break. So we're going to be back in like 10 or 15 minutes. Definitely stay tuned for all the intense actions and all the secrets that have been revealed. So definitely stick around. But yeah, we'll be back in just a little bit.
Holy
I'm not okay.
crap. Holy crap.
All right. So we're back. Havel, you and Jericho had just left the dining room to go out into the garden, him following close behind you. So, what is it that you wanted to speak about?
Okay, well, I'm going to speak pretty plainly here. I don't know why I just gave you what I just gave you. I don't know why I decided that that was probably the best course of action to do this. Honestly, I don't know. Divine intervention, let's say that the gods decided that that's what I wanted to do. Let's say that this is fate, right? Two things. One, why? No. Okay, they won't hear about this. I don't exist. We don't exist. Okay? When you take that coin to a minter, You simply say that it was an act of the trade, a particularly lavish night at your very, very lavish locale. Understood?
By no means do I often reveal how I gain my coin.
No, I don't think you understand. Even if the 6 themselves ask, I will find you and personally hurt you.
If the 6 are asking for you, you will already be dead.
Fair. Do you know of the events that occurred in Merencia about a year and a half ago? I'm sure some people know. It was a rather belly up event.
There was a botched mission that ended up with some informants and operatives in jail.
Yes. I need to know which of them are alive. More specifically, honestly, I don't care about a lot of them, for the most part. The majority of them are actually just, I do want to know, though, of the drow. The drow.
I do not personally know of any of the details, but I can ask around if you would like. I can
Could you?
Reach out to some friends over in Bravania.
More specifically, I do require a name. Here, one moment. As Ryan himself can't remember the name, I apologize, everyone. Boop. Yes. I require information on the drow, Namira. A one-armed drow. One of our best.
Namira.
One of our quickest and one of our smartest.
I've heard of Namira, yes. I do not know what her fate was. I will ask around.
Okay, I don't need her location. If she got out, she probably disappeared into the night, and we probably won't see her for long. But I want to know whether she's alive or not. Because, admittedly, if she was captured, she'd be one of the ones that they would send after.
I understand. Give me a few days.
Understood. Thank you.
Of course.
I
You
do
paid
need-
handsomely. Is there something that I can do for you?
I do need that studded leather armor, actually. That would actually be wonderful if you could. Yeah,
I could easily provide that.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, perhaps. So I guess I do have one question. Do you have access to any anti-scrying magics?
I do not have one myself. Not that we have one on our persons. We do have a proprietor of them, though.
Does the 6 that I gave you, does that could I possibly get a necklace of some sort that's anti-scrying? Okay, I understand that we are asking a lot here. You're kind of sticking your neck out, but
If it were me personally, I would definitely try and provide, but I am not a scroll. You will need to go to the Iron House to get something like that.
of course I do. I only have a few hours. Okay. The studded leather armor would do wonderfully, and your finest brandy, please.
Of course. Is there anything else I can do for you?
What? DM.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of coin just now.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way to? Okay, there's some left over? I'm assuming, right? Some. There's got to be some,
A little
right?
bit.
How much is a little bit? Like threes or like triple digits?
No.
Double digits?
You're probably in double digits, but
Double
at this
digits,
point,
low double digits.
probably. You're getting pretty close to having
Okay.
spent everything.
Including with everyone's requests, I'm assuming.
Yeah, with providing with what you can tell of this estate and having stayed in previous places like this, it wouldn't be uncommon for a night here to cost 100 gold or more.
These assholes.
So between them being very accommodating and providing the best of what they have, along with the fact that this guy basically just went against code to give you information, there's definitely you could ask a little bit more, but you're beginning to really kind of stretch it thin.
I won't ask more. Could you potentially, by any chance, give 10 of the remainder to the orc fellow?
I can.
He exists in tatters, and honestly, that's just quite sad. So.
Yes, I can very much fix that.
Grand. Thank you, Jericho. You have been very, very accommodating, and I appreciate everything that you have done.
I do try. If you have nothing else to ask of me, I will go begin preparing. At which point he flips his hand and bows very low before turning on his feet while bowed and standing up and leaving.
Havel stays in the garden. You said there was a fountain, right?
Yep, you guys are right next to it at this point.
Havel sits down on the lip of the fountain.
Okay.
And kind of just looks at his reflection, runs his hand over his horns, looks at the now empty chain around his neck. You know, we've been through a lot. Is this really all worth it? Let's hope that we don't use these legs for running. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? They're all probably dead. They're all probably dead. I should have just thrown myself off when I had the chance. Right. Okay. Lead. You are a man of wit. That's why they hired you. And that's what will keep you alive. Okay. He stands up, straightens his shirt, fixes his posture, puts on a nice, pleasant grin, and struts his way over to the kitchen to meet his friends.
Fantastic. You guys are now being basically ushered to a variety of different places. You are shown to your rooms. Each room is larger than even that of your rooms at the 12 Platinum Cranes. You can't quite tell how many there are, as there's really no limiting space, apparently, according to them, with them carving themselves into the mountain. These rooms are very, very lavish and large, with vaulted beds and your own separate rooms on each one for both a closet and bathrooms that have their own tubs and stuff like that. Very, very nice. Very accommodating places. Yes, Melora.
I just want to remind you that Renaya asked if she could stay with me from now on.
Yeah. They do provide a room for both of you. If you guys want to share, that's totally fine. And as you guys begin to get settled in, different scribes, different pages begin to attend to you and achieve the checklists that you are looking for. Tarak, you're given a shield and provided a pair of fresh clothes. And one of the things that they do is they don't give you like ridiculously nice clothes. They give you stuff that's going to last a little bit longer, that isn't as fragile or delicate, something that can be taken from here and probably used for a little while. They do that for just about all of you, except for you, Edward, at which point when they replace your pants, they give you the finest of luxuries. We're talking about like silk-lined. It's like...
And beautiful. It contours his legs so well.
Oh my gosh.
Must I say.
Yeah. For you, Melora, one of the scribes, this young elven woman, approaches you and says, if you would like, I could incorporate parts of your previous cloak into the new one. Or we could get you a whole new cloak altogether, whatever you would like.
I would like that very much, actually. And I hold it out to her. Is there any way I might also acquire for a dress?
Dress? What style, color?
The ability to walk around in it, but I haven't had another change of clothes for years, and green is my favorite color, if it's possible.
Of course. At which point she leaves. Remind me of what everyone else wanted. Yeah. I got you. Tarak got a shield. Renaya, did you need anything specifically? No.
An adult.
Edward wanted another thing.
What did you want, Edward?
Although he had a bath that morning, he wants another warm bath.
You ask for that, at which point they get like the finest of soaps, bath salts. They run gorge like a perfectly warm temperatured bath, not too hot where you don't want to be in it, but just hot enough to be relaxing. At which point they do have someone like massages your head with
nice
soaps and helps to bathe you.
You
have another person like scrubbing between your toes and like taking the pumice stone to your heels and the balls of your feet.
It's Edward's used to it, but he also always has to hold back giggles because it tickles a little, because he's kind of ticklish.
Yeah. What's up, Hannah?
Is there individual baths just in a room like at the
100%.
last place?
Yep.
All right. I would like to bathe again. Are there any flowers around?
There are lots of flowers in here. That was one of the things that I didn't get to touch on, is there are large bouquets of flowers everywhere. You have like 2 or 3 in your room. There are several throughout the dining hall, several throughout the rest of the estate. Probably, oh my gosh, probably all gathered from their garden. Give me 1 second.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
I would like to just pick flowers for after my bath to put back into my hair.
Okay.
I'll leave it down again
easy.
though this time.
As soon as like in general, like they seem to have stopped like pampering people. Tarak has been like silent for this entire time. He's gonna find Renaya wherever she is.
Renaya, where are you specifically?
Probably sitting in Melora's room, waiting for Melora to finish up.
So
Tarak. Yeah, I just bust in. I don't even knock.
As you go first to what Renaya's room was. Immediately see that she's not there, and you can just kind of assume that she's with Melora.
It's either that or she's been magically teleported to a dreamscape or a hellscape of dreams.
You never know.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, I busted. Renaya.
I'm right here.
Renaya.
I'm right here.
How old was Samuel? How old was Samuel?
About 10.
10? The Farvarkanuk! The Jogundorkuv!
What are you saying?
He just taps.
Who's in here?
Tarak, why don't we go out into the hall?
It's fine.
What did you say?
You're okay, Melora. And I'm gonna get up and like link arms with Tarak and head out to the hall.
Okay, yeah, you basically drag him out.
We need to find Samuel very quickly. Very, very quickly. How many days has it been?
I don't know. Why? What? I know there's an urgency before, but why is this?
No, it's very bad. If that orc was with the witch, it's. I'm looking. There's another orc in the city. If it was just him, it wouldn't be a problem. Do you know anything about orcs? Anything at all? Edward knows literally nothing. So I don't know how much people know or don't know about any of this.
No, I don't know much.
Okay. Great. There are 5 types of orcs. 5 types. The most common is a child of Grumsh. They all orcs are children of one of the 5 gods of the Orcish pantheon. Grumsh, that's the leader. Ilnavol, the general and tactician. Luthic, she is our patron of healing, all the poison, birth, whatnot. Yurtrus, god of disease, and Shargaz, the betrayer. They all perform very specific roles. What we are dealing with now is a child of Shargaz. But that's not the worst part. It's because they are probably working with a child of Yurtrus, which is very, very bad. Very bad. Very, 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 very bad.
Very, 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 very bad. How?
I don't know. There was evidence of a disease when I got here. I was found. I was jailed. There was a person, a guard, that treated me well, but her sister got sick. And so I left to help her, but she wasn't sick by a normal disease. It was what we call true dommage. It means brain worm. It is the worst disease that the orcs have, and it's very, very difficult to deal with. Her sister was 10. I have a gut feeling that if there are a lot of children that this witch is trafficking, and Samuel was 10, and they were seen with an orc, that is a coincidence that I don't like to look over. But the longer that true dommage is within the body, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. And that isn't the worst part. It's that if there are more children, I don't know why. I don't know why, but we need to. I can only help if it's fast. And if it's been 7 days, I'm sorry, but it might be too late.
Okay.
I am so sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be honest. I don't really know where to go from here.
I think Haval has given up a lot more than we know. And so I have to keep hoping.
Did he say anything to you in that room that was not okay?
I think he said what he felt he needed to say.
I don't think that answers the question. People, regardless of who they are, sacrifice things for their desires. Some sacrifice money, others sacrifice time. Others sacrifice more. And I point to the scar. It is never something to apologize for, or to feel bad that they've done it, for it is always their choice. And if a person sacrifices something for someone else and then they make or force that sacrifice to influence the other, they are never deserving of what they gain. So if he said anything to you, please let me know.
Okay.
Good. Let us find Samuel.
Okay.
I should probably tell the others about this, shouldn't I?
That's probably helpful information for what we're about to do.
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. I will go talk to the others.
Who do you go to first?
Oh, probably Melora. The door's already open.
So Melora, as you're very relaxed for the first time being by yourself, knowing that Kathyr is somewhere within the vicinity, but apparently staying close so as to not do anything. Kathyr, you're literally like against the wall in front of her room because that's just about as far as you can get right now.
So did he hear everything? Because they did just kind of walk out of the room and then just start having this conversation. So
Tarak, you look down and you see Kathyr just kind of like,
oh,
looking
Kathyr.
up at you.
Great. How much of that did you hear? Because the more it was, the less I have to explain.
All of it.
all of it, yeah.
Great. I'm going to go fetch the others. Come to think of it, it would be unwise to do it one by one. I should just, like cutting off a limb. Just all together. It'll be fine. Great, I'll be back.
So,
I go grab Melora first.
okay, you go into the room. The one door in here is closed currently.
This time I knock. Melora. Melora. Would you mind joining us in Renaya? Is it okay if we use your room?
Sure.
Renaya's room. Like now.
Yes. Well, I'm a little busy at the moment, but I could be in a few minutes.
like, with what it's kind of important.
Tarak, I'm kind of in the bath, so I kind of go
Great,
right now.
dry off and go. What's the problem?
Tarak, I'll bring her in.
Great. Okay. I go to Edward's next.
Edward's bathing.
Edward is also bathing.
And there's people in there with me.
Yeah, your door is open. If he walks into his room, he can
I'll just go in.
A clear line right to your bathroom where you're currently being
God.
pampered and pripped.
Open door is invitation. I just go in.
Yeah.
Tarak, what are you doing in here? Get me a towel. Tarak,
Edward,
please
there's
turn
a
away.
meeting in Ranaya's room.
Tarak, don't you understand etiquette? This is my room. You don't just walk in. I'm so embarrassed.
Then why was the door open? You should have closed. I would have
Because
knocked
it's
if the
my
door was
room.
closed.
Oh, you'll never understand high living. Oh, you'll never understand.
Yes.
Okay.
For the first time, I agree
my goodness.
wholeheartedly
Well,
with the thing
could
that you
wait?
said.
Could you wait until I'm done with my bath? I was relaxing for the first time in a while.
Have you noticed that anytime someone else has a pressing issue and they want to call a meeting, everyone just goes? Like, I could just hang around. It's fine. Just hurry up. I'll go to Haval next.
So
Edward does start like drying off and stuff once.
Yeah, you're brought a towel, and they start patting you off dry. You just kind of stand there as they like pat you dry.
Yeah. Havel never went to his room, by the way.
You're still in the garden?
No, I walked into the kitchen, realized that everyone had been whisked away, sat down at the bar, and then just kind of started silently drinking.
You said that there were people in Edward's room?
Yeah, there's two scribes like patting him down with towels currently.
Oh, great. As soon as I realize that Havel isn't there, I go back into Edward's room.
Mm.
Really?
Excuse me.
Again? I'm not done.
Hush, I'm not talking to you. Two people. I'm looking for the man that paid for everything. Do you know where he would be?
I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing.
No, but we could go find him.
No, I'll just do it myself.
Okay.
Thanks anyway. Bye. I'll go downstairs.
Okay.
Why
not? You don't even
I'll
have to
just
go
find him.
downstairs because you're not going upstairs. You just went down a hall.
Even better.
Yeah. So you guys go back down the hall, and you can see this enters into the dining room. At which point Havel is by himself at the bar with a big old bottle of brandy in front of him and one little glass.
Havel.
Tarak.
Meeting in Ranaya's room very quickly. Real bad. To sum it up.
It's a very pressing issue.
Oh, yes. Very. Like, when I say real bad, it's kind of an understatement.
Havel's going to stand up, take the bottle of brandy that he hasn't really even drank out of. He takes the glass and he looks over. He walks over to Tarak. And he goes, Tarak, have you taken someone's life before?
I was already kind of turning. I pause. I turn around. Yes. Once.
Was it in defense? Or did they deserve it?
Definitely not.
Do you think that for a person to die by someone's blade that they need to deserve it?
Need to deserve it?
They say that they have done terrible things. Unjust things, done things to terrible people. Or good people, just done things. Things that they can't repent for. Do you think that they deserve to die?
Havel, I am something as to what your people would call a doctor. And I believe that there is no such thing as an act or there is nothing that cannot be returned from, if only the person chooses to do so. But I do believe that just as when gangrene sets in, it is better to cut off the limb than to let it fester.
And I very gingerly put my hand on Tarak's shoulder.
As soon as your hand gets close, he catches it. He doesn't let it touch his shoulder, and he goes, I'm sorry. Please do not touch me.
No, that's totally fine. Maybe, I suppose you're right. I guess, I don't know. I think the real problem that you run into isn't how to remove the sickness. It is what if they are the gangrene?
The person that you are, or the thing that you are killing?
Yes, what if the thing that you decide to run cold steel through is the gangrene? They are the thing that you have to remove.
Then they must be removed. I think that the time is rare a good doctor can save any patient. But when there comes a time when you can do no more than cut out the virus, then it must be done. But there are many times, in this world especially, when that isn't necessary. Most times, I would say.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. My friend. Sorry, I'm rambling about things that do not matter. You said that there was an important matter that we have to discuss. Let us go. Let us go.
Yes, but while we're paused, just for a brief second, what did you say to Renaya in that room?
I do believe that I said what it needed to be said.
She said the same thing. I do not mean to be rude, but she's kind of going through a lot right now. And I think you misunderstand who or what exactly I am.
Tarak.
You speak of inhumanity, terrible things. You know nothing of true atrocity.
Tarak.
I have, hush, for the first time, hush. I have sat through days upon days of screams of agony. I have watched men burn with a fire from hell. I have watched people torn limb from limb and keep fighting with nothing but their teeth. Every day was a war for 12 long years. It is a dangerous thing to make a gentleman angry. So I please ask that, with everything in your power. Do not make me unhappy. I do not wish to cut you out.
Havel, with a sort of sincere grin, looks up to Tarak and goes, "An unwise thing indeed. Tarak, if I ever step out of line, please, I will happily present my back to you. I will happily present my neck to you. Sometimes you need to cut out the illness, right?" And I pat him on the side and walk down the hallway.
I will follow behind, but just for a moment I let him walk and I say,
I think you also forgot. I said I'm a doctor, and I'm a good one. If you step out of line, I will take every measure to bring you back before I have to resort to the last. Remember that, and then I'll follow behind him.
Havel just kind of waves to him as he keeps going.
So you guys return to Renaya's room, at which point Edward and Melora have now dried off and met you guys there, and they're all waiting for you.
Sorry it took me so long. Havel was drinking. It took me a little bit to find him.
That's all right. Sorry I couldn't have come right away.
Well,
That's
he pulled
fine.
me out of my bath, so I suppose this better be good.
Me as well, Edward.
Oh, there seems to be a bit of a pattern here. And he looks at Tarak angrily.
Now,
Hush.
Edward, this seems to be very important.
Oh, yes. Real bad. Sorry, distracted for a moment. Yes. Turns out we're not just dealing with a witch. So, we're also dealing with orcs. Specifically, the bad ones. Now, most orcs are bad, but it's real bad if the orcs think that the orcs are bad. That's Shargaz. We're dealing with the child of Shargaz. Probably none of you know what any of that means. I've already explained it to Renaya. It's real bad.
Mr.
It's very
DM,
bad.
Yeah,
it's just because I'm curious, what do I know about the orcs?
You would know a little bit more, as orcs do encroach on your land on occasion, but not a lot.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah.
The children of Shargaz are deceivers. They are traitors, and they are loved by darkness and shadow. That's why it's so hard to find them, which is why I honestly thought it was very hopeless when they asked me to find it.
So there's some kind of criminal.
No, they are closer to what you would call an assassin. And when I say loved by shadow, I mean it quite literally. They can move in it and around it. It cloaks
We've
them.
been dealing with a great many shadows.
She's not
Yes.
wrong.
Those things that we fought back there, next to one of the higher up of a Children of Shargaz, are basically nothing. Completely pointless. They are weaker than the lowest bat breeder. But that's not even the worst part. Congratulations. We're also probably dealing with a member of the White Hand, which is much, much worse. There's nothing that people should fear more than a White Hand. Yes, Havel?
Actually, this isn't me cutting off Tarak. This is me wanting to ask the DM something. I apologize. Does Havel recognize that name at all?
Roll a...
More specifically, the White Hand.
Yeah. Roll a history check.
I'm pretty okay at those, I think.
Hey.
Apparently not as good as I thought. 13?
Yeah, so Akleron and East Bravania, the two of the blind nations that you guys are currently pretty close to, either in or right next to, don't have to deal a whole lot with orcs because of the Alisar dwarves. The reason why I said that Drew might have a little bit more knowledge is because he's from Rivaluna, which is directly north of Athane, which deals with the orcs a lot. And so, no, you don't recognize the name The White Hand. Neither do you, Drew.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like connection, like
Yeah.
Because I know people that might know people, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, you don't recognize this.
You know a friend who has a cousin, who has an uncle, who has
who
has a friend, who has a
who like roomed with an orc at one point, and that orc also happens to be a white hand.
Yeah, he majored in white hand.
Yeah.
Yes. The White Hand are Yurtrus's chosen. They are breeders of disease. They quite literally make and grow disease on the backs of Yurtrus's nurtured, which are other orcs that did not pass the trial of the White Hand. They are basically walking petri dishes. If a child of Yurtrus works with a child of Shargos, they could destroy a city in a matter of days.
No pressure.
So, Tarak, why would they need a witch?
I don't know if it's because she's a witch. I fear that more than trying to destroy a city, they are trying to create a new disease. I don't know why they need children for it, but I have encountered one girl around the age of 10 that was infected with true damage, and Samuel is also around that age. If it is a trafficking ring or what you said, it would be an easy source of test subjects.
So, you know much about the disease? You know about how long it incubates and how long you have to live?
If they're using true damage, it depends on the constitution of the one that is infected. If they are strong of body, true damage is used in a ritual that the orcs have called the ritual screaming. When an enemy general is captured or a town is taken, they find the current highest ranking officer or leader of the town and implant true damage within them. Daily, it's sapped at their life force, and the ritual screaming, they input 24 of true damage into them by the hour, and the days pass marked hour by hour by the screams of the damned. It is a slow killer, but for a child, it would not nearly take that long. Even the girl I found was almost dead by 4 days, and it had been 7 for Samuel.
Well, by the gods, Tarak, I've heard stories of the orcs, but that is one of the more terrifying things I've ever heard. Diseases, and it's terrible. You're not one of those disease ones, are you?
Edward.
Look, I know. I don't think he
before
is.
You speak.
Yes, I'm wondering if if he used to be something he's not now.
I was going to be a paladin of Luthak, so no.
Which one is that again?
Luthak is the god of fertility, poisons, and healing.
Good doctor.
I guess that's better than disease.
I suppose it would be. So, I have a question slightly unrelated, but we now have a meeting with Meluncina and possibly the orc. What are we going to do? What do we intend to ask? What do we intend to do with them here? I mean, I understand this is a big win to have them out in front of us, but I want to know the game plan here.
I don't know. I didn't expect the orc to... An orc working with a witch is unheard of.
How willing are we to lie?
I mean, I'm fine with lying.
I have no problem with it, but what are we lying about?
Well, one, we're going to need to get Renaya looking a bit more different.
I don't know if we do.
Did she not see you?
She did, but she said I could make a trade with her for them.
Then why don't we lead with
Did
that?
she outline the trade for you?
Just something of mine.
That could be dangerous.
Aye.
Why do you think I didn't take it? But
we'll talk to her. We'll talk to her about the prospects of trading.
Aye.
If that doesn't pan out, I might have an idea, but I feel like we should probably lead with that. Maybe we can get her to be a little bit more specific.
If the orc is there, fighting the children of Shalgas are not incredible at hand-to-hand combat. They deal under cover of night, as I said, like assassins. If they try to run, do not chase them. And if you continue to make that mistake, watch your feet. Yes.
Do you want someone with a bow ready should things get out of hand? I'm a good shot.
DM, are we meeting in here, or are they taking us somewhere?
You haven't really specified the details.
Okay. A sniper could be useful if we're meeting outside of that. We never really discussed that detail, I suppose. Got lost in the entire painful transaction that it was. So, do we want to meet somewhere open, somewhere where potentially Melora could present her bow, ready it, the options that we required?
Range at her back would be a good help.
Okay.
Besides, I'm not the best with words, so I wouldn't be very helpful to you there.
Okay. I'll see what I can do in regards to where we're going to be meeting them. We could try for something a little bit more open, but they're probably gonna want a little bit more discretion than we're hoping. If that becomes the case, then we might have to figure out a bit better of a plan. Okay. I'll go start doing that. So you all finish your discussion. I've heard what do. I need anything else? Anything more particular, Tarak?
I don't think so.
Understood.
Not as far as I know. It would be nice to capture the orc alive, but I doubt that would be the case. Orcs are not good at being captured.
If everything goes belly up. Okay,
If you
Tarak.
shoot for the calf, it will not kill them, but it will inhibit them from running any faster.
Haval sits down on the bed.
Okay.
Tarak, you want to know why I asked you earlier? What I asked you earlier?
I am aware that most likely all of us here have terrible secrets, and I do not wish to pry into any of them unless you so desire.
Part of it has to do with me, sure, but the other part is, up until now, we've been facing things that are not of this world. Shades, abjurations, things of the like. If things go belly up, You all have to understand that while we may not want to kill them, they sure as hell are going to want to kill us.
Aye.
Are you all prepared for the likeliness that if everything goes terribly wrong and none of this works, are you all prepared to take someone's life?
You have my bow.
Wonderful, everyone else.
Go ahead and say it.
I've never killed anyone. I can help. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could. If I'm quite honest.
It's fine, Edward. Just support us, okay? Do what you do best. Motivate us.
I can do that.
Anyone else?
They called me Tarak of the Sheathed Blade for a reason. Until I know that it is time to cut out the disease, I will do no killing.
Thank you for being forthcoming on that.
Even till death.
And then how about you? I look towards Kathyr and Renaya. How do those of the cloth fare under circumstances where someone else's life might be on the line, and that includes their own?
I make no promises, but I will do what it takes to protect these 5 people.
Renaya.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. I think it will be. All right. All of you. I'll be back. And before he like steps up to the door, and before he leaves, still holding the brandy and the cup, he pours some brandy into the cup. And then he goes to Samuel. And he downs it and just goes to go find Jericho.
Does anyone have anything else to cover? Any other surprising, terrible afflictions that we will have to face?
I may or may not be wanted by the city's guard.
What?
I mean,
How
all due
did you
respect,
do that?
get in line.
To my understanding, they didn't know what I look like, they didn't know what to look for, but there is a chance of it, so...
At this point,
I know the jail quite well, so if anything goes wrong, sure we can handle it.
at this point, I do leave.
Let's go prepare for war.
Aye, I suppose so.
And Ballora,
Aye.
I'm not going to take it. Put the brandy on the shelf. My people have a saying. On board my boss foot. Liquor after war. And I leave the room.
I look at
I would
Melora
like-
and I say, well, I don't live by that. Could I have some? We're getting into
I-
something quite big.
I'll have a drink with you.
You never
suppose.
listen.
Never listen.
And I would like to prep my bow. I was going to leave my hair down, but if I'm going to be using my bow, I'll pin it back. I kind of have my hair in my face.
Wait, Renai, are you gonna do anything?
Renai is just gonna wait until everybody leaves the room.
Okay.
Edward sits and sips for a bit, but he's quite quiet throughout the whole encounter until after a while he says, well, I'm kind of tired now, so I'll go back to my room. Sleep well. Tomorrow could be pretty crazy, I guess. And he leaves.
Melora, do you stay?
Do I get the feeling that Granaya is waiting to be alone?
Probably. As you wait a few minutes, you also do begin to feel a tug on your arm.
I go back to my room.
Okay.
And then Renaya is going to watch and make sure everybody gets to their rooms. And then she will start setting up her ritual.
Yeah, you begin your process. Kathyr, where are you going?
I would like to just go back to my room. And probably pace around for quite a bit after that conversation. But eventually I'm actually going to sit down on my bed and start flipping through that book.
Okay. Yeah.
Edward does have another thing.
Okay.
Oh, and tell me when Renaya's ritual is done.
Okay, so Edward begins making his way to his room, and then he turns around and he goes to Cathyr's room.
Okay.
And knocks on the door.
Kathyr, you just sat down on the bed, holding the book in your hands.
I closed the book. I just said it. Actually, I'll put it in my bag again, and I'll go over to the door and open it. Yes.
You see an Edward, deep in thought, a little downcast, and he says, "Kathyr, I need to talk through something quickly."
Okay.
Don't worry, it's nothing huge. My brain's doing things, and I want to figure it out.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I'll kind of like pull him into the room and shut the door before I sit back down on the bed.
Is there a chair? I'm guessing there is, or something.
Probably.
I sit down on whatever's
the
available.
DM walked away for a moment, so we're just gonna say there's a chair.
Okay. Kathyr, it seems, I'm gonna be honest, you might be surprised. It seems a little bit above my head. Man, we're talking about diseases and shadows and crazy spiritual stuff, bad spiritual stuff, and I just don't know. I don't know how much help I can be. I don't even know if I want to be involved in this. I'm seeing and doing these kinds of things for the first time, and it's kind of a lot. And you seem like the one that's probably the most likely to try to figure it out. I feel like everybody would just be like, "No, Edward. Like, we know you, whatever. They're them." But you seem to be kind of nice when we talked at the bar, and I don't know. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, Kathyr. What do you think? I know that's not much to go off of, but I'm kind of at a loss. I can't really go anywhere else.
And why is that?
Well, I don't know if I can go back to the state like this. My father's probably not very happy with me. I don't know how that would go down, and I frankly just don't want to go back. There's other things that I want to do. But I don't know. I tried to start off on a good note, and it just kind of ended up like this, so now I don't really know where else to go. But we're talking about fighting an orc and a witch. I never thought I'd encounter a witch in my whole life. And here we are. What? I don't know what to do. All I can do is cast a few spells, and I have a sword, but I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Edward, you're right. This is a big thing. This is important. This is probably too big for several of us to do on our own. Maybe even with a few of us to do. But something that I learned when I was younger was that even when the pain of work stings your back and hurts every day, even when you don't know how to keep going. It's about the people who are in the pain with you. It's about the people who you choose to help or hurt. And it's about the people who you're willing to say, I will stand by them and take the pain with them, because I don't want them to be the only one hurting, and I'm willing to take that pain too. And so really, Edward, I think it's not a question of are you in over your head, but are you willing to do what you can to help? It may not be enough, and it more than likely will hurt very badly. And good people don't always win. But good people, truly good people, fight for what they believe in. And I'm willing to fight. Malor is willing to fight. Haval is willing to fight. Tarak is willing to fight, and so is Renaya. It's just a matter of are you? And that's not supposed to be demeaning or diminishing towards you. It's just a simple question that you have to ask yourself. It's just, do you want to go back to your home and feel like you accomplished nothing? Do you want to leave this group and find your own way? Do you want to stay? There's no real right answer, but it's more about what you will be able to live with.
I'm challenged. I'm challenged because if I'm dead, I can't help people. So maybe the best thing for me to do is help people in the way I can without risking my own life, right? I mean, I don't know, seems like there's a lot of people just sitting in their own pain, and I feel like there are better ways of lending a hand than, I don't know, sticking my neck out and offering it as, like, come strike me, evil people. What if I was just like, here, the poor and the needy, here's a helping hand, and maybe build them up to deal with their problems. I don't know if this makes any sense. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe there's something else I could do that's more helpful than this craziness. I care about Samuel. I don't want Samuel to die. But, like, there are other people that are just equipped for this. My father always taught me in business that everybody has a role in business. And so, like, maybe the good people of the world all have their roles. And I'm just wondering if maybe my role isn't to do stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? I have money, I have education, I can offer these things to people and help them get out of their pain.
Well,
think of all of the kids that could benefit from something like that instead of just one.
Edward, you're not wrong. You might currently it might seemingly work better if you go off and do something else. But I can tell you from experience, roles change. And the only way that happens is by doing something that you don't know what you're doing yet. But slowly, over time, you figure it out. I've had to do that. And it may not be easy. And it may take a very long time. But I assure you it's worth it in the end.
Kind of, the way you were speaking, it kind of reminds me of music. That's kind of how it is, isn't it? You don't know how to do something, and then over time you just figure it out, and it sounds good. Maybe it's kind of like that?
I always appreciated music, actually.
Same. I quite enjoy it. My mother used to encourage me in those things. My father wasn't as impressed. He cared a lot about the business and stuff, and I care too. But like I was saying,
it's not
there's
where
other
your
things.
heart is.
Yeah, you could say that. There are just other things I want to do. I've never really seen him sing, and I like singing. I've never really seen him dance or, stuff like that. And whatever. That's besides the point. I don't know. I'll think about it in the morning. I'd love to help out how I can.
How about this, Edward?
I'm scared, Kathyr. We're facing a freaking disease orc and a crazy witch woman who steals children. I'm but a simple, wealthy bard. What am I supposed to do?
Just help where you can, and we'll pick up the rest.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I might do this. Okay, I'll think it over. I'll probably stick with you just to see if what. But let me tell you, Kathyr. If this goes badly, I'm going to tell you I told you so. A big, fat I told you so.
Edward.
I want to keep all of my fingers. I want to keep all of my limbs. I don't want my pants to get ripped if we can avoid that. Seems like we can't. I'll do my best, okay? Whatever. You convinced me. I'll do my best. And we'll see where it goes. Maybe it'll be worth it. If not, then I know. What do you have to say? You did it. Yay. Edward's with you. Right?
It is your choice.
I suppose it is. I guess it was kind of my choice to leave. Okay, well, I think that's quite enough. I guess I'll see you in the morning. Hopefully Haval doesn't steal my biscuit.
Right. Anyway, I'll see you later.
Yeah, Thanks, I guess. I just needed to talk it out. See you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward leaves and goes to his room.
Oh, I just immediately like head is like up against the wall, just like, oh my goodness. And I actually leave and I find Melora.
Okay, before you do that, Havel.
Yes.
So we're all like in a general timeline of things that are going on at the same time.
We all just want to talk to each other. Just let us talk to each other.
Oh, you're not gonna be able to be there.
I
You're not
can't.
gonna. Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever.
So you go and find Jericho, right?
Yes, I go find our host. Ugh.
Yeah, he is currently behind the bar cleaning the glass.
Okay.
Evan.
Jericho. So I didn't specify. I suppose it's probably best that I didn't specify, now that I've talked to my compatriots. My comrades. Do I have say in where the meeting will be held?
Yes, I would be able to arrange whatever you'd like.
Do you know of a place that is open? Expensive.
There are few expansive places here in Athala. I know of one, but you do not have access to it. I would say that there is probably not a public place aside from one of the courtyards or the something along those lines, especially in the lower level.
Does the orchestra have hold here? Are there any musicians? They
Yes,
do.
We do serve musicians.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I don't want one of them. Nor do I need one of them. Could they perhaps give me access to a theater?
Yes.
That's expansive.
Yes.
Has seating all around.
I do believe we could arrange that.
Good performance could be placed. Not a bad place to make a deal.
Are you looking for there to be a performance going on?
No.
Like a
I just
private box?
no. I simply just need we will meet on the stage.
All right.
I just need access to it, to the theater.
Right.
We will meet on the stage. We will have our discussions there. If you want to set up, if you actually want to set up a table in the middle,
we can definitely do that.
Wonderful. What time tomorrow is the meeting?
I was actually going to ask you when you prefer, morning or evening.
We meet at dawn. I'm joking.
We plan at
we
dawn.
plan at dawn. No. No. I say that I think everyone deserves a little bit of a lunch tomorrow. So how about let's have a after lunch parlay.
Sounds delightful.
Wonderful. I can come and go as I please from here, correct?
Yes. Something I did want to ask you, my master. For this meeting, are you looking for protection?
What kind of protection?
Well, Meluncina is not a member of our
I'm aware she won't abide by our code. No, I'm aware.
She will not. So
Neither will her comrade.
If you were to be in search of protection, there are members within the cities that are specifically here to guard those of significance here in the city.
Are you trying to tell me that Athala actually has a shroud over it?
For some people, it will not come cheap. I don't think.
Obviously.
But they could be quite helpful.
I mean, everyone in our company is rather capable, even if they don't believe it.
Yes, just an offer. I can arrange it for within the instant. So
how much for? I guess I'm not necessarily looking for a funeral here, but how much for, say, I don't know, one of the undertakers?
We could arrange for someone along the lines of 200 a day.
We only need them for a day. They'd be worth it.
Potentially. It depends on the course of the meeting. If you are looking to follow, then perhaps engaging in atrocities is not the way to go. But it is available.
Well, I mean, yes. We want to keep a good visage. Yes, right? Keep good images, save face. But are you... do they seem like the type that would not come with their own security detail?
In the few instances that I have worked with Meluncina, I have never seen her with protection.
Oh, well, that's terrifying. Wonder what she has under her cloak. No, but 100 gold. I guess we don't even need an undertaker. I'm sure it'll be fine. Sure, it'll be fine. God.
This is more of a stealth operation. I was just merely placing the offer out there.
I mean,
you think on it. We can arrange for it in the morning. So
I will consider it. In the meantime, I'll think it over after over some family events. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, have a wonderful night. I might catch you on the way back in, but and Havel, he leaves and he's gonna go to the third ring.
Okay.
The upper ring, I mean. And find a temple.
Okay. Which temple specifically?
Aprion.
Aprion. That's war domain.
War and knowledge.
War and knowledge. Okay. So, right next to the Death Temple is the Temple of Knowledge, or you could go over to the other side, past the road, to the Temple of War, whichever you would prefer.
Knowledge.
Okay. So you go to the House of the Ever-Knowing.
Okay.
And I'll get back to you in just a little bit then. So everybody else, throughout the rest of the night, as you relax and try to mentally prepare yourselves, I believe Kathyr was going to go join Melora, right? Awesome.
I gotta unmute myself if I want to talk to people. I walk over to her room and I actually hesitate before I don't knock on her door. I just go back to my room.
Can I see if I hear his footsteps?
Yeah, make a perception check. Drew, are you trying to be stealthy?
I mean, not necessarily. I can roll if you want me to.
Nope.
Mr. Steal your biscuit.
15.
Okay. Yeah, you would hear him gently approach. You can't quite tell if there's someone like approaching your door specifically, or if they're just walking down the hall. But you can hear someone walking down the hall, stop briefly, and then continue walking.
I would like to open my door slightly and look into the hallway.
Okay. As you peek out, you can see Kathyr's backside as he returns towards his room, which is not very far, but.
Does he look like he's in a hurry?
Not necessarily.
Did you need something?
I thought better of it. There have been plenty of conversations, I think, so far.
Well, I see. I close my door.
All right. Kathyr's doing this right here. Are you gonna do anything else, Drew?
There's so many things I want to do, but at the same time, I don't. Yeah, I'll go back to my room,
Yeah.
and I attempt a second time to sit down and read my book.
Perfect. So you begin reading. Everyone, as you go about the night, your items do arrive. Tarak, you do hear a gentle knock on the door, and then when you open it, there's a shield sitting outside of it, a pretty large shield. Edward, there's your new pants. Melora, you have 2 new pairs of boots. One pair of what looks like almost like hiking boots, or just things that you'd like wear throughout the whole day, like nice leather shoes that are well kept, and then a pair of shoes that match your dress, a little bit of dressier shoes. And your dress is this nice kind of a tight bodice that goes into a pretty flowing skirt with lots of layers. Not made of a material that is delicate by any means. Definitely something that you can move around in, that you wouldn't be afraid, especially you wouldn't be afraid to, like, kick someone in the head with it. And you would just look fabulous as you did it, with the skirt flying over. And a couple different pastel greens. It's like a darker green along the sides, and then the front is a very, very pale light green that continues down onto the skirt. And then you do have a new cloak. You can see it's made from, they have taken the cloak that you made with your mother, and they have used it to trim the very edges of your cloak, and then the hood is the hood from your mother's cloak, with a new material covering the backside of it. Again, in that similar color, where it's the dark green on the outside and then like a pale light green on the inside.
Is Renaya in my room yet?
Yeah, probably at this point you guys would be at the same room.
I would like to try on my new dress and my shoes and my cloak, and it's odd because you see a little more gentleness in her. She kind of twirls around for you, Renaya. She's like, "Do you like it?"
That's perfect.
Thank you. I haven't had a dress since I was a wee lass.
Do you like it?
I do. I forgot how light it makes you feel. Well, then I suppose I'll be needing it to sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you alright?
Sorry, there's more important things that were supposed to happen before she got there.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's alright. It could be that
Yeah,
that
it's been
you're not
several
together
hours
yet.
since your ritual. So what were you wanting to do?
Okay. Are we jumping back to then?
Yeah, this is just after you finish the ritual. It's only been about
I'm
an
the
hour.
Lord, I'll be right back and I'll compliment you all you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Renaya finishes her ritual, she's actually going to take the little symbol she got from Malice.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna hold it close to her and start talking out.
Okay.
Hi. So I'm still kind of new to how this all works. So if I'm doing something wrong, you can just tell me at any time. But I know I'm like you, but I'm not. And I'm sorry that I couldn't be more like you. And I'll take whatever comes for me, but what's happening right now isn't me. Yes, it's me, but it's involving other people who I don't think deserve it. And you've helped me before, and I don't know why, but thank you. And I ask that if you can help them, you do. I don't really know how to end it, so I'm just gonna put this away now. I hope that's not the wrong thing. Okay. And she's gonna put it away.
Okay.
And then she'll kind of sit there for a moment if anything happens.
It is just quiet in your room.
Okay, and she's gonna quickly get up, and she's actually going to knock on Havel's door.
Okay.
Oh God.
You go knock on Havel's door and he is not there.
Oh God.
Okay, so either he went somewhere sketchy, he's drinking downstairs, or God took him away. Okay, you know what? I can wait till the morning, and then I'll go to Melora's room.
Okay. Yeah. You guys spend the next couple of hours together. Eventually, your clothes arrive. Do you guys want to do anything before your clothes arrive? The two of you?
Did you say my name?
No.
Oh, that's so
Get out of
funny.
here, Grant.
Yeah. I'll how much so in time How much time has passed since that little moment with Kathyr, or is that after this? Like,
Oh yeah, that's important.
So, so just before you get the dress is when this all happens. So
okay.
Renaya is there in the room.
Yeah.
I am a little visibly irritated.
So, how did your little temple thingy go?
Well, I waited outside for most of it. And then Kathyr said I needed to come inside to talk to someone, and then I did. And now it's 60 feet instead of whatever it was before. So.
What?
Oh, yeah. We kinda be away from each other. That sounds way cuter than it's meant to. We kind of physically be away from each other. Like, or else our arms burn.
Is it like a rash or something?
No, actually, and I pull my shirt up and I show her.
Yeah,
Like,
you see a circle about an inch in diameter of raw, like scar tissue, like very irritated, bright red scar tissue with a single line just off on the right side of it, in the middle of the circle. I'm going.
Oh, and that's such a horrible spot for it too. Like rubs against your clothes.
And there's a hole in one of my old shirts, and one of Kathyr's as well. I actually think he's getting a new shirt because of it. But basically, I was just living in the forest with Ginger, and I saw some very suspicious people that were in the forest, and they weren't necessarily cutting down trees, but I didn't trust them, so I followed them throughout the trees, and I saw this weird, just giant armor-plated man that just put his hands on a tree and just sucked the life out of it. And I was like, didn't like that very much at all. So I went into the camp and I stole his book. And the book led me to a cave. And then I was in the cave and I almost didn't make it out of the cave, actually. But found a few things and I took them. And then as I was leaving, I was being chased by a big black sludge. And then I saw Kathyr running towards me, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be running away. And then I found out later that he had a vision of me or something, and that he had to find me, and then now I kind of leave. So, yeah. Sorry, that was kind of an information dump.
How much of her rant do I hear past the wall?
The walls are pretty well soundproof. You don't hear any of it.
Okay.
Did you want to talk to him more?
Well, he said we've had plenty of talks today, so no.
Well, if he didn't say that, would you have wanted to talk to him more?
What are you insinuating, Renaya?
I'm just saying you don't look happy that he just walked away.
I shared a lot of personal information today, so I guess I was not expecting that reaction.
Well, you could share it with me and I'll give you a different reaction.
Alright. My favorite color is green. And I am alone. In all sense and purposes of the word, aside from Ginger. So it's very hard for me to want to open up to people, to want to be with people. So what's your favorite color?
Pink.
It's a bonny color. Oh, your brother, actually. That was his favorite color. My mother would always say, "You're not supposed to like pink, that's for your sister." But he always liked to wear it. My father would let him wear it when my mother wasn't home.
You know, it's funny though. Because I get the sense from you that you're not really a fan of being around people.
No. So I've spent so many years alone having to fend for myself and for Ginger. She makes it much easier. I kind of came to the realization that it would be better if I wasn't around anyone that I could lose and that could be hurt because I'm not where I need to be at the time that I should be. So it's much better to put up a hard front so that people didn't get close to you in the first place, so you kind of lose them. But I'm not doing a very good job of that now, am I?
I personally have never really stayed in one place long enough to call it home.
Really? I never did get to ask you, how do you know Samuel?
I came here looking for just something to do, something good, something productive, and the orphanage needed people, and so I went to there.
Orphanage, you say?
Yeah. I've been there for quite some time now. It was actually Samuel's first day.
Cool. So the boy's an orphan?
Yeah.
Didn't know that there were places orphans could go to be around each other.
You think we can find him, right?
I do. And I have a soft spot for children. My wee brother was actually 10 as well. So I will do whatever I can to help recover the boy. And I really do think what Tarak said is very scary, there's no doubt about it, but I have the feeling that there's more to this than just wanting to put the disease into a boy. I have the feeling that if she didn't kill you when she had the chance, he's out there still. And we can do something about it. And we will. Well. Didn't know. Oh, the dress isn't here yet, huh, DJ?
I was just gonna say there's a knock on the door at this moment.
Okay. Then that whole conversation that we had, just insert.
Cut and paste.
Yes.
Cool. Is there anything else you guys are gonna do tonight?
Track. Oh, geez, wait, you two still doing stuff.
No, I'm okay.
More?
I'll just take Ginger out. Oh, does the dress have pockets?
It does have pockets.
As soon as she puts her hands in the pockets, I gasp.
They're not on the bodice at all. It's on the skirt, but they do have pockets.
All right.
And your hands just slide into them. It's like they're meant to be there.
I do that thing where you put your hands in the pockets and you swish them around. And I take Ginger, she was probably on my bed, and I take her out and I say, all right, now, when I wear this dress, my pockets will not be in the same place as they usually are. Would you like to try it out? And hold open one of the dress pockets.
She looks at you with the most, like, you really want me to get in a pocket again right now type of look.
It will only be for a second. I just want to see when I'm wearing a dress, where are you going to be? I want you to be comfortable. And, sometimes I may want to look pretty. So you're going to have to figure out where you want to be because I want you to be with me, obviously. And I may be wearing a dress. So...
At this point, she crawls up your arm and sits on your shoulder and like sits down very like defiantly.
Alrighty then. Perhaps we'll try another time. So, this could be very dangerous tomorrow.
Yes. It could.
How are you feeling about it?
I think this is one of the many things I've had coming for me, so I'm ready.
Alrighty then. You're very strong, Renaya. I admire you.
I think you're pretty strong too. I can't figure out how to get to Edward, and you do a pretty good job at getting him in place.
Well, I think I give Edward a little bit of a hard time, didn't you think? I mean, granted, a lot of the time he needs it, but...
I think he's doing the very best he can.
I would have to agree. I just think it's so startling how different we grew up. I mean... Dunno know. He says things sometimes that I cannot understand. Would ever even come into someone's mind to say.
Tarak does that too. Do you notice when he says those weird, funny things? I just have no idea what he's saying.
But at the same time, for some reason, that does not stand out to me very much. I mean, my mother told me stories about orcs when I was little, and to be honest, I didn't understand the bad reputation that they receive. I mean, the way that my mother used to tell the stories were almost on the opposite point of view of all the other ones that are told here. They're told that they're vicious, they're evil, and they are merciless, which the merciless part may be true, but that, on the side of the oppressor, is an admirable trait. So, it's odd to me.
Well, if I've learned anything, it's that the worst things in the world you don't really expect to be them.
Aye. Well,
I think...
Thank you for listening to me, Renaya.
Thank you for talking to me. I really need to get some sleep, otherwise there will be no way that I can heal any of you.
I suppose we all should get some sleep. I have to be my best target tomorrow, so... Didn't know whether to wear the dress, though.
I think you should.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Alright then. I'll wear it.
Beautiful. So, do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Renaya's just gonna slump on the floor.
It's, even though it's stone, it's like the softest, comfiest stone you've ever laid on.
Oh, it's fine.
Aaron, I think you had something you want to do real quick?
Yeah. The moment Tarak gets back into his room after the whole conversation thing,
yeah,
the whole facade of "let's go Warren tomorrow" just stops. Basically collapses into a little pile on the bed. And he opens his pack up, opens the compartment below, and just rests his hands on a small little pouch and a pair of tanned lily white gloves. And that's all he does for the next 2 hours until he falls asleep.
Okay.
That's all.
Oh.
Is there anything else that anyone else wants to do? Well, with this kind of lull in activity as you all go to bed.
Wait,
Aside from you,
wait.
Havel.
Yeah, okay. this is important. This is important.
We are going to end
Oh, I
tonight's
see.
session.
Oh no!
Yes.
Can I-
Make him suffer.
I needed to do a thing at the church. It was gonna be fast, I swear.
We'll get to
Let
that.
him do it.
next
Let him
week.
do it. No, let him do it.
No.
Oh, Lydia's asking you.
It's so fast.
This is the second betrayal of Renaya today.
Literally next session it's gonna happen, and like you're gonna be like, oh, that actually would have been a great place to end on. But no, we're ending it now, you heathen.
That's right. So, thank you for all who have been watching and hanging out. This was obviously a very talkative episode that had a lot of character development, which is super fun. Lots of talking to Melora's disdain. So, if you like this type of content, please feel free to come back to us. Like we said, I don't know if we mentioned it, but we do stream every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's where you can check us out. Obviously, we'll be doing this campaign. And then starting next month, we'll be doing a couple other things as well. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely come back next week for the giveaway. We want to give you guys our shirts. We really do. We have the extra ones already made, and we just want to give it to you. Here's a little sneak peek. This is the back with the established, and this is the front. So definitely check it out.
Would it really be a sneak peek if we've been wearing the shirt the entire session?
No one look at us.
That's right. Only
Our
listen to the
podcast listeners will not know what we're talking
That's
about.
right.
Oh my god.
Hey, podcast listeners, watch us live.
Well then.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. You guys have anything else that you want to say before we get done?
I can't wait for next
Edward's
week.
pants are dark green.
I'm
I
so something for next week.
I know.
I apologize for the things that I said when I was role playing.
I need that as a
guys.
shirt.
Same.
I need that as a shirt.
I'm excited to die next week.
Oh no.
So, with all of that, we're just gonna say good night. I believe it's good luck.
Good luck and
Godspeed,
Godspeed.
Dungeoneers. I
See you
did it.
next time,
I said it.
Dungeoneers.
He said the
I
thing.
said it. I said
He said the thing. Bye.
Bye.
We did it.
Bye.
Good luck, Godspeed, Dungeoneers.